Good evening, Summoners. Welcome to the Swag Life series, an amateur series that consists of 16 teams divided into two divisions. 7 weeks of matchups where the top teams fight it out to be the champions of the Swag Life series. Tonight, we have Division 2 continuing the action in a best of 3 between the Butter Boys and Glacial Academy. My name is Derek, and I'm joined by my co-host and competitor, Joel. Take it away.
Hey, first of all, how are you doing, Derek? Good to have you.
I'm doing great tonight. I'm excited for this matchup. After yesterday's action, oh boy.
Yeah, me too.
We have a show.
Me too. It looks like two powerhouse teams playing with all different styles, I would say, based on what champions they play. We'll obviously see that once we get into the draft, but two different styles of teams really looking to clash it out. So I think it'll be interesting. I always love when teams with different kind of priorities and how they play come together. Always makes for an interesting matchup to see how they approach the game. But yeah, personally, as you said, I'm super excited. I could barely sleep last night. This is my first time casting here on the Swag Life series. Always excited for the action and see what these teams bring to the table. So as you said, Division 2, and we're gonna have an interview coming up with both of the supports for these two teams. So we'll get to see insight into how they're approaching it, how they're feeling about it, how their prep has been going into week 1, you know, when they get to make their debut, make their big statement, make their mark on the league. So should be good.
Alrighty, we're starting the interviews here.
Yep, and we should have the support from the Butter Boys, Protega, on the line first. Is that you there with us, Protega?
Yeah, how are you guys doing tonight?
We are doing super well. How about yourself?
Doing good. Excited for a fun series of League of Legends.
There you go. That's what we like to hear. So, I mean, just right off the bat, this is your opening game. How do you feel about it? You know, just initial thoughts. How do you feel going into it? Nervous? Not nervous? Another walk in the park?
I mean, I wouldn't really say it's a walk in the park. I'm pretty out of practice from League, as it were. But we're pretty confident, like, just overall as a team.
Sure.
Not really nervous at all. Just kind of looking forward to playing a pretty good team.
There you go.
So how long have you guys been together?
Most of us have known each other for, I want to say, about 3 years, and that would just be me knowing them. Some of these guys have known each other much longer than that.
So you guys are not a new team. You've been around the block a few times together, eh?
Yeah, we've all played with each other at some point or another.
Sure.
More just like friends on the side.
Okay.
This is kind of just like a fun opportunity for us to all be together playing again, you know?
Yeah, then I have to ask, do you think that gives you an advantage, you know, having that kind of synergy and being able to work well together?
I definitely do. We were playing in a practice game last night, and me and a teammate were like just back and forth without having to say anything, reading each other like an open book. It was very nice.
That's awesome. Definitely nice to have that going into games.
So and what team are you part of?
Butter Boys.
Butter Boys. So look out for Butter Boys. They got the friendship synergy, enjoying the esports together on this Friday night.
That's awesome. That's what we like to see. Yeah, for sure. So thank you Protega. We look forward to seeing what you pull out on the Rifts in your upcoming match.
One last question before you go. Is there kind of a play style you guys gravitate towards? I know we took some notes on you guys, but I want to hear it, straight from the support.
Play style is definitely going to be pretty aggressive. I'm not even going to shy away from that. Like, we're all like very aggressive players. So I mean, if we don't like how something's working, we're gonna force something else.
So we can expect some early game powerhouse picks from you guys.
Absolutely.
That's what I like to hear.
Looking forward to it.
Keep it interesting right out the gate. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Any more questions for Protega?
I think that about wraps it up. I mean, I always like early game aggression. I always like when people don't waste any time, take things into their own hands, and just look to win the game in 10 minutes, as it were. So that's always a play style I enjoy. But moving on, now we're gonna hear from the other team support, Glacial Academy support, Unami, and see what her thoughts on the game are. Unami, can you
there?
Hear us?
Hello? Unami, are you there? Looks like we got some technical difficulties. That's okay.
Like, can you see me now?
Oh,
Yes, so we
can
got
hear
you.
All right. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's probably our fault. So, Unami, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm very stressed out right now. I can't lie. It's been a busy day. You know, 2 hours of sleep. That's always fun.
2 hours of sleep.
So, yeah.
That is tough. How do you feel going into your first match on 2 hours of sleep? You a bit nervous, or you already said stressed? How's your prep been going into it as a team?
Honestly, most of my team has played together, but our mid laner has run into some problems IRL. So we recently had to switch her out for Lemon now. So I'm really excited to finally be able to play all together. And yeah, we're just gonna run into this and see how the waters go.
There you go. I mean, it's week 1. It's your first game. If things don't go exactly how you want them to, who cares? You always have the rest of the season to bounce back. So I think that's a good approach.
Exactly. We're here to learn and have a good time doing it. Maybe a couple entertaining fights here and there. So Unami, what's your champion pool look like in the bot lane?
Yumi Nami? I'm joking.
I figured that might be a bit of a giveaway.
I know, but my friend actually made this username for me. So although it isn't like the best going into semi-pro, it's still fun to have. I like to say I am I have a very large champ pool. It's just that, you know, I like running it down on some of them.
I like that. That's a good strategy to go in. And I mean, if you have the Unami, they expect the Yumi Nami pick, I assume, and then once you whip something out totally out of left field, they have no idea what to do. So, good way to keep your.
They never expect the banana.
200
They might expect it now. But that is true.
My bad.
You're good. You're
so
good.
Unami, how long has your team been together? You said you were struggling getting a roster with your mid laner. So now you guys are all together for this match, or are you subbing in?
Yeah, so this is going to be the first game all of us will be playing together, so I'm excited.
That's exciting times. And have you guys played together a lot in the past, or is this like a recent group of people coming together?
This is a recent group. We're actually, my org wanted to start a female team, or an all-female team. So now actually we've got people from all over the spectrum, so I'm extremely excited to finally be able to show us off.
Nice, exciting times right here on the Swag Life series.
Yep.
That is awesome. What do you you know, we asked this to the previous support. What do you guys think your general play style is? And I know you're a new team, so maybe it's not something you have completely established yet, but if you had to give us what your thoughts on your play style is, what would you say?
Honestly, we just go with the flow.
There you go. That's good for Nami, right?
Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself, Joel. Thanks for coming by, Unami. Thanks for the interview. We'll let you get back to your team there, I think.
Yeah, good luck on your opening match. We look forward to watching you out.
All right, Joel, so we heard from both supports. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, I mean, so, you know, right out the gate, you have the aggressive early game team from Butter Boys. They want to control the tempo. They don't want to waste any time. They just want to push their advantages, snowball lanes. So from what I've seen, it seems like Glacial Academy tends to play a little bit more scaling, a little bit more late game, you know, not really looking to fight or do anything too crazy early, just let their champions farm up and scale into the late game. So I think that's kind of an interesting dynamic, I guess, when you see two styles like that come together. I think hoping, you know, Glacial Academy has some plan to make it through what might be a difficult early game and outscale the other team. So I think if they can do that, they're in a really good spot, because, you know, a lot of the pressure now on the Butter Boys to make something happen early and make sure that they have a big enough lead to compensate for being outscaled later into the game.
Definitely, and especially with a best of 3, it can get really interesting when you have a team so set on one play style versus a team like Unami's who's saying, oh, they go with the flow. So what does that mean in the third game? Are they going to have a huge counter to the aggressive play style, or I mean, it's going to be a fun series, I think.
Right. And a note on that, since it is a best of 3, it seems like a lot of these champions rather, but players have kind of limited champion pools. There seems to be a few one tricks or mains, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when maybe game 2 or game 3 one of their one tricks gets banned out and they're forced onto maybe a less comfortable pick, how they adapt to that, how that maybe changes their play style, how that changes their priority, and who they tend to play for. So, you know, I'm always a big fan of watching best of 3s because I think it really brings out a lot of strategy in drafting and draft adaptation, which I always find interesting. So I think this is going to be a super interesting series. 2 really different play styles coming out. Two teams, you know, they're just kind of on the opposite of the spectrum. You have this team with the bend together, super set play style. We just want to go hard from the beginning, playing together for 8 years. You know, we have all this energy versus a very new team that is trying to make a name for themselves. You know, debut game, just getting a new roster together within the last day or two, and they're coming out with, you know, completely different play style. And how would that match up? Yeah.
Yeah, we never know, especially North American Amateur League of Legends where anything can happen.
True.
It's really anything can happen here. We don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But you actually are a competitor in this tournament. So why don't you, or in the series, sorry, so why don't you speak about that for a bit, because you must have a bit of an insight on some of these teams and some of these players, more than me at least.
Sure. I haven't looked too much at Division 2, to be honest, since I'm in the other division. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really solid teams, a lot of teams all over the spectrum, who just bring a lot of different play styles together. One thing I like about this kind of tournament is that you always get to see some crazy, weird picks, because you have some people who just like, you know, play champions that you might never really see in other areas of competitive play. So there's always that chance for, like, I don't know, the Yorick mid lane pick that no one ever sees coming to just completely throw up a draft. But that's definitely something I like to see. And yeah, it's always just fun to see. There's such a variety of teams and such a variety of different backstories. Seeing all those come out and how those teams interact is always fun for me. But it looks like we are actually ready to get into Champ Select. So here we go. Butter Boys versus Glacial Academy, starting now. Let's hop into Champ Select and see what they're gonna pick.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
We actually have a slight delay on Champ Select, so I lied. But in a little bit, we'll be getting into it. Yeah. So what about you, Derek? What is your league experience like?
Well, I started playing League open beta. I think it was in high school still. And that was a long time ago now. And I played on and off pretty much the whole time. Was going to school, went to university, was working, all this stuff. And now my passion comes back to like esports and doing stuff on the computer. And it completely reignites my passion when I, you know, can kind of do that for my career. Like, damn, yeah, what a dream.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
This is my second game ever casting League of Legends, so I'm pretty hyped right now.
Wow.
I have what I think a lot of game knowledge, a lot of experience playing the game from different roles. So yeah, I think I could bring a lot to the table, and it should be a fun time casting with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is like your biggest interest within League? I guess it's such a complicated game, and there's so many different facets of it. What do you find like most appealing? What do you get most interested, most excited for?
Just how crazy of a game it can be. Like you said, how complicated it is, how many different angles of approach, how many different winning strategies there are, the amount of possibilities for outplay. It's just such an exciting game, and it gives me shivers. Sometimes it makes me like tear up, you know, to see a good play. Yeah. You can't help it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that hits the nail right in the head. You can have two really solid teams who approach the game in an entirely different way and both be equally successful. And I think there's when there's that much, I guess, nuance and openness for different strategies, it becomes really interesting to see, you know, how people approach it differently, how two people can be playing the exact same game but look at it in completely different lights and you know, prioritize entirely different things, and both, you know, both be successful in that.
Exactly. I'm hoping we can get into Champ Select. I have a lot of thoughts about what's going to go down with the picks and bans, especially when you're playing some full aggression.
Yeah, me too. And here we are.
Looks like we're here.
Ban phase 1. So Glacial Academy over on the blue side, they will have the first pick. Butter Bumbies on the red side, meaning they have the counter picks. So looking right off the bat, I see that and as I mentioned in draft, Butter Boys really like playing aggressive bot lanes. Their AD plays a lot of Kalista, support plays a lot of Thresh, both just two really lane dominant champions who want to get an advantage. Whereas Glacial Academy seems to have a little bit more of a scaling kind of wave clear. They want to play safe, scale up to the late game, Jinx and an Enchanter type. So I expect a lot of priority to be put into the bot lane right now. Whether that be, bans towards the support for Butter Boys champion pool, or maybe the Kalista just right out of there. But as I say that, 2 top bans.
Yeah, bans going out. We got Viego, Jax, and Darius banned for Glacial Academy. 3 amazing champions, all top side or junglers. And Butter Boys banning, on the other hand, Anivia, Yumi, and Kha'Zix. Some more niche picks.
Yep, but you see
maybe some
Kha'Zix
target bans.
You see Kha'Zix E-Girl, and then you see Unami, so not too surprised by the Kha'Zix. And there you go. That is the secondary pick for the jungler when Kha'Zix is not available. A lot of Zac coming in, and notably a very different playstyle from Kha'Zix, a much more gank-oriented, engaged kind of tank as opposed to an assassin. So we'll see how that changes their gameplay. But Thresh being picked up for red side, no surprise there. Possibly an AD pick on R2, just get that bot lane right out of the way.
Yeah, Zac jungle, a powerhouse, to be honest. Like, amazing engages from nowhere. You really have to get deep vision against him. Your jungle tracking has to be on point, otherwise he can just constantly wreak havoc at any weakness in any lane.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Poppy.
Ooh,
Poppy jungle. Poppy really good into Zac. Obviously, you can just put on the W and stop the Zac E engage. And another really good
nice counter pick.
Yep, another really good early game skirmishy jungler. Works well with the Thresh. A lot of kill pressure in the bot lane just with these 2 picks. So I expect to see a lot of bot lane action. Here comes the Nami out for blue team. I expect just maybe an AD pick here. Don't want to show too much more of their draft. Jinx is still on the table, really strong AD right now, incredible scaling, does well into a low range champion like Poppy, does well with the Enchanter like Nami. So if I had to say, I would assume it's a Jinx pick here. 5 seconds on the pick timer. It is a Lux, keeping me on my toes. All right, so Lux played a lot of support right now, can be played mid. Obviously, since Nami's picked, I assume it is going mid. Let's see what red team counters. They have a lot of options here, as blue team's shown a lot of their picks already. So looks like they're going to blind the Mordekaiser top. What do you think about the Mordekaiser?
Solid pick all around. Solid pick all around. He does have some weaknesses. Oh,
they switched to the Yasuo. What do you think about the Yasuo?
Yeah, I mean, can't go wrong. We got a couple good knockups already on the team, so he won't be doing the job just by himself. I think a great pick's into Lux, to be honest.
Yep.
There's nothing really wrong that's going on here. Great counter pick, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yep, good into the Lux, good into the Nami. 2 really squishy champions that if they get hit by any type of knockup are just going to get absolutely one-shot by the Yasuo. There's the Kalista banned out. Really surprised, honestly, that Butter Boys didn't opt for the Kalista on 3 and went for the Yasuo. I think it really seems like they want to play that Kalista Thresh. It's a really strong lane, especially something into Nami. So I think it's a really good ban from Blue to make sure they just get rid of that Kalista and take away one of the really strong early game lane power picks.
Yeah, good point. They obviously valued Yasuo more than Kalista there, so we'll see if it pays off for them.
Yep.
In this one.
All right, and then we see the Kayle and Ezreal on the other side for Butter Boys. Really want to take away any of the scaling options for Glacial Academy. The Lucian pick, Lucian blind pick, that's a bold pick. I would say blinding Lucian is really tough. A lot of hard matchups for him. He's super low range, but like they said, Butter Boys doesn't care. They're gonna play their game. They're gonna find a way to win regardless of the odds. They're gonna pressure you early, keep you on your toes. Malphite, there it is. Malphite into Lucian and the Jinx. So 2 really strong picks. Surprised that the Jinx didn't get banned out. Malphite makes Lucian's life really difficult. Lucian super low range, has to walk into the Zac, has to walk into the Malphite. A lot of kill threat for the Lucian. And then Mordekaiser rounding out the draft for red team. What do you think here, Derek?
Really interesting team comps. It's going to be a good one. We got a huge front line on both teams, and a bit squishier of a back line on Glacial Academy. So let's see if we can go for the outplay and keep it together. If they fall behind, it's going to be a tough one against, you know, what we heard in the pregame, the aggression of Butter Boys. Sure. So they have an amazing all-in. The Butter Boys looking to, you know, create prio across the map and make plays. They had got a ton of CC, a ton of damage coming out, and Glacial Academy is going to have to play really well. They have a bit more straightforward of a comp, and I think it's going to be tough for them to outplay.
Sure. As we get the game, don't forget to vote in the poll. Who do you think will win? The predictions. Got to get the predictions out now. We have the draft completed. You see the team comps. Who do you think is going to take game one, Glacial Academy or Butter Boys? Two really different comps. I personally, big fan of the Glacial Academy comp. I think it's super straightforward and easy to play. It doesn't, you know, there's not room for outplay, but it's also a lot harder to mess up. You click Malphite R on Lucian and he just gets one shot by Luxall over the top, and then, you know, damage becomes really hard for Butter Boys to do from there. But like you said, Butter Boys has a lot of champions that have a lot of outplay potential, and anytime that's the case, team fights are interesting. Team fights can be flipped, you know, big plays can happen. So I'm excited for this. These are two really interesting comps. And anytime there's champions like Yasuo and Lucian on the Rift, you know it's going to be a fun time.
Exactly. What's your prediction there, Joel? Who do you think is going to come away with this one? First game, I almost, just based on draft, have to give it to Glacial Academy. Obviously, I haven't seen any of these teams play before. But with that being said, I really like the Glacial Academy draft. The Jinx scaling is so strong. A lot of wave clear from mid. She can play safe into the Yasuo. She avoids ganks well. I think she'll be in a good spot for late game, where you just have the Zac and Malphite engaged. That's so hard to deal with. Even with the Poppy. The Poppy can't stop Malphite R, obviously. And Lucian just has a really hard time playing the game. So a lot of pressure on Butter Boys to get a big gold lead early, I think. What about you, though? Exactly. Yeah, the bottom lane is going to be praying for mid and end game in terms of Glacial Academy. They're going to look to scale and just wait for the engage of their top line. And the Butter Boys going to be on a bit of a timer, trying to make plays, especially with the Lucian Thresh. Yeah, we'll see if they can get ahead. It's going to be a fun game.
Absolutely. And I see Sasankti in the chat says, I am not a one-trick XD. All right, I'm sorry. I meant no offense by my one-trick comment.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of counter gank spot. We should see Zac, you know, relieving some pressure early game against, you know, this Thresh and Lucian, who's going to be looking to make some plays. But Poppy is the perfect counter to Zac. So, you know, it's going to be interesting how she plays it out. If she waits for him to go in, if she tries to cancel his jump early on in the deep jungle. And I don't know about the top lane matchup. To be honest, I don't play too much top. So do you know anything about the Malphite Mord matchup?
I also don't play too much top. I assume that it's probably Mord favored. I think Malphite has a lot of trouble in the early game. It'll be interesting to see. I think, you know, I think this does seem like a game that's going to be focused a lot on bot lane. And I think if there's not a lot of jungle pressure top, I think Malphite will be fine to just kind of play safe, look to get what farm he can, and make sure he's not dying. And really just, you know, wait for those mid-late game team fights where his ultimate brings so much value. So I tend to agree. It seems like it's going to be a big bot lane focused game. And, you know, Butter Boys is saying that they're the team that likes to play early game, but Glacial Academy also having a lot of kill threat in the bot lane. You have a Zac E into Jinx traps into a Nami bubble. Lucian just gets blown up if he gets hit by any of those abilities. So, you know, their bot lane has to make sure that they're playing safe, they're getting deep vision down, avoiding ganks, and, you know, not letting that Jinx snowball, because if Jinx snowball is huge problem for Butter Boys.
Yeah, those Zac ganks are something to be scared of, especially when you're pushed up on your enemy's tower. It's tough to get away from him.
Yep.
But the Thresh, Lantern, and Lucian, you know, not too bad of picks to go into that. So
that is true.
There's going to be lots of mobility.
Absolutely. And again, Yasuo into a Lux mid. Haven't talked about that yet, but that is, you know, a volatile matchup, right? Yasuo, if he's able to snowball and get solo kills, he's a champion that brings a lot of power to the game, and it becomes really hard for Lux to walk up, get that wave clear, push in her lane. And if she's playing under turret, it's a scary time for her as Poppy dive becomes a threat, and Yasuo roaming, looking to fight bottom and flip the game into their favor. So again, that mid 1v1 also really important. How does Lux play into it? how does she avoid dying, you know, while still keeping some lane push and making sure that she's able to get her waves under and harass the Yasuo and not just let him free farm into the late game. So a lot of moving pieces here, a lot of picks that can potentially flip the game. I think, you know, on the one hand, you have this early game comp from Butter Boys. On the other hand, you have the super kind of late game scaling comp. I think for me, a lot of pressure on Butter Boys to play this early game super well. And if they don't, it's kind of on that timer, right? Once Jinx hits 3 items, once you have Malphite out, the game becomes really, really difficult to play. So it'll be interesting to see how Butter Boys prioritizes the early game, what they play for, whether it's dragons, whether it's Rift Herald, you know, what do they see as their winning strategy in this match?
Exactly. I'm looking for a lot of jungle action mid to open up those roams, create those timings to abuse bot lane, because that's going to be pretty much the whole team. I mean, Yasuo is a good scaler in the mid lane, but you really got to keep Lucian and Jinx on the same level.
Sure, absolutely. And Yasuo, again, having a lot of trouble into a pick like Malphite, someone who just stacks armor. And again, that is interesting, two big AD champions with not a lot of magic damage. You have the Mordekaiser top, but that still gives a lot of value for the Malphite to just stack armor. So if Lucian isn't really far ahead, he's not someone who can shred a frontline tank really at all. And you have Zac, you have Malphite, both of those champions getting insane value from just armor stacking this game. So again, pressure on that Mordekaiser to be relevant AP damage. But even still, Mordekaiser isn't going to be doing that same level of magic damage as you'd see from something like maybe Gwen top or Orianna, Syndra, mage type mid. All right, and based on the sound, it seems like we are on to the Rift. Here we go, Butter Boys versus Glacial Academy, week 1, day 2, and we are already into a pause. That was a fast pause. All right, we're back on. Let's see how they play level 1. You have the Lux Binding, some kill threat. You also have Thresh Hook on for Butter Boys. They're just spamming their masteries. They want to show you these guys know how to play their champions. It looks like we have 3 level 7s. And you can already see the synergy. Look at the timing on the mastery spam.
I think I lost my feed there.
I lost my feed as well. From what I saw going into it, it looks like there was a bot lane invade. Butter Boys walking into the bot lane, looking to stack, maybe get a pick on the Jinx as he is sitting in bot tri-bush. Here we come. Thresh is going to face check. Jinx is about to be in trouble. Louis flash. The hook comes down on top of him, and that is just a first blood for the Butter Boys. Jinx holding on to the flash. Good call by the Jinx to hold on to the flash. No point in blowing it there. He was just dead. Fortunately for them, the first blood does go over to the jungler, so not as much pressure in the lane. Lucian doesn't get to back for a longsword or something like that. Not ideal. Obviously, you never want to give up first blood this early into the game, but if you are going to give up first blood, at least it's to the Poppy, and at least you kept your summoner spells.
Yeah, I don't know. Poppy can be a threat with kills. She turns into Mundo, going where she pleases, and feels like 3-shotting everything if she gets too far ahead with Divine Sunderer. So I mean, feeling good for Poppy right now, that's for sure.
That is definitely true. So it looks like Poppy is going to start on the top side with a leash from the Mordekaiser, whereas Zac opting to start bot side and path away. This means that the red side bot lane will get to lane first, which is important for them and gives them some extra lane pressure. Mid lane.
Yeah, junglers for each team's playing opposite, maybe prioritizing different lanes. You see Butter Boy is gonna have probably level 4 gank bottom, whereas Glacial Academy is going to be prioritizing getting that maybe Mordekaiser off the board.
Yep.
So we're going to see what's going to happen here.
Absolutely. And it seems like based on how strong that bot lane 2v2 is, the Zac doesn't want to path into bot lane from top, as he doesn't think their lane will have any priority. Already, red team bot lane stacking a wave in. Lux looking to get some poke onto the Yasuo. And they're just waiting for that level 2 spike. Looking to see if they have an all-in angle. Surprisingly, playing this pretty passively, they actually give the level 2 advantage over and just look to slow push that wave. Here into the top lane, just kind of a wet noodle fight. Looking to farm up champs, not much going on here. Back to bot lane, mid going to be pushed in by the Lux. Just looking to get that wave under, play a bit safe, avoid the Poppy ganks.
Yeah, no early ganks from the junglers yet. Most of them are going for level 4 here, but it looks like Zach actually might be pushing out of his jungle and crossing river soon.
Yeah, Yasuo, a bit of aggression onto the Lux, but nothing too much. And a bit of an awkward wave state here on the bottom lane for red team. Not exactly where they want it to be. They didn't get that wave under, so it's kind of just frozen onto blue team's side, which is good. The hook coming down onto the Jinx, go force the flash early. And that is a key summoner spell down for the Jinx, making things a little bit scary as Poppy is on the bot side. No flash for Jinx. And the waves.
Good flash, but better hook. Poppy smelling blood in the water, moving down now towards bot side.
Flash
Zach
out
coming
from
in
Lux.
mid.
And that is just first blood to ignite. The Yasuo picking up first blood onto the Lux, and she blows the flash. The Zach gank not even enough to save her. Good mechanical play coming out from the Yasuo, able to dodge everything there, dashing through the minions, dashing around the Lux binding, and the Zach E first blood, or not first blood was in bot lane. Second blood, Butterboy's side as well. So, I mean, right off the bat, already a really great start for Butterboys. They have about a 1.2 thousand gold lead. And
Yeah, just the start they wanted here. They said they wanted the aggression. They're pushing their matchups just like they know.
yeah,
And a great play by Yasuo there, knowing his damage, getting out unscathed.
exactly.
Getting the quick reset.
Exactly. Bot lane still nothing too much going on, but the wave starting to push away from Glacial Academy. And Jinx still has no flash. This is a very scary position to be in. And the hook's going to come down onto the Nami. Goes in with the Flay. Bubble's going to miss, and he's just autoed down by the Thresh.
Another amazing hook there by Thresh. Clean damage by the Lucian.
Yep.
And kill secured by Butterboys. 3-0 here. Another 2k gold lead.
Really scary spot. Both flashes being down on the bot laners. Not respecting that Thresh hook. Not playing behind the minions. And yeah, as you said, really huge start for the Butterboys. 3-0.
Mid and bot now behind.
Yep.
Not looking good. Not a good start what you want against this early game champion team.
Yep, and moving forward to all summoner spells down on their bot lane. Flash and TP down on mid. Really scary spot for Glacial Academy in the early game. So what are they going to do to kind of stop the bleeding, try to neutralize the game, and keep scaling for what their late game power spikes are?
Yeah, they need to respect the Yasuo, respect the Thresh hooks, play a bit safer, and just yeah, try not to die essentially.
Yeah. Can they execute it? That's the hard part. Here we go. So Zach on his bot side, nothing too much. Thresh having a big roam timer, just hovering mid, looking to see any action. We know that there's no flash in the Lux. It looks like he's just playing for some deep vision though. Lux hovering to his top side. Needs to be a little bit careful here. Thresh walking in. The hook's got to land. The binding buffered through the hook nicely, but the Flay comes down into the Yasuo. Oh, Zach looking to help, but it seems like it's too late. Oh my goodness, great Zach Q there to actually stop the last auto from Yasuo and save the Lux.
That was a clutch play by Zach. Saved
That was
Lux's
huge.
life.
That was absolutely huge. You said not a lot of room for outplay, but this guy's making outplays on Zach. Crazy.
Hey, they're gonna need it now. Zach's gonna be the king to their comeback, I think.
That is true. They're going to need it. Even though that play doesn't work out successfully, they don't get the kill. Still really tough lane state for Lux. She's super low HP with no teleport, and Butterboys are starting up the dragon. I think she just needs to take a recall, cut her losses. There's no way she can walk back into this. She's going to get the binding Windwalled, and she's just dead. A little bit greedy there for Lux, trying to stay for XP when she had no flash or mana. And she's going to get
That was
punished
a
for it.
certain death.
Yep.
Great play by Yasuo there.
Good play by Yasuo. Yeah, really pressuring the advantages that they all have. Excellent play. Oh my goodness,
Poppy
the
with the
flash
flash.
stunned by Poppy onto the Zac. Yasuo here for the follow-up is going to force the Zac flash. Great play by the Poppy, seeing his window and just immediately pouncing on it, forcing down the Zac flash. Level advantage for the Poppy. Everything is going Butterboys right now.
And, maybe a bit questionable flash by the Poppy, but there's nothing they can do that's wrong right now. As long as you're going 1-for-1 on the flashes, it's a great play.
Exactly.
This kill lead.
Yep, flash trade is big. He has an XP advantage. You know, making the Zac have to play a little bit more conservatively for the next 5 minutes. Absolutely good. Limiting their options, limiting their plays. And a big 1v1 in the top lane. I said it wouldn't be much action, but Mordekaiser almost solo killing the Malphite, forced to ultimate away defensively.
Yeah, big value, big plays across the map, every lane. Ooh. Looking
I'm
like
now
a mess
being
right now
given
for
a new
Glacial
hat.
Academy. Oh, there you go.
Much more stylish. Not sure how I keep it on with my headset, but there we go. It's gonna fall off at some point, but yeah, there it is. Put it right here for now.
All right, we got a big wave pushing in bot lane. Zach is here if
Another
they
hat.
stay around too greedily. And Poppy gonna take a recall mid.
Lux is just looking to ult to break the freeze. She is in a tough spot. Here comes the Poppy. Good flash by Lux, dodging out of the Poppy E immediately, knowing that she cannot risk the Yasuo ult coming over the top. Good reaction from the Poppy. Nami walking up, I think a little bit too far. Zach's here, but it doesn't matter. They're just gonna get one shot. No flash on the Zach. Thresh is flashing forward, the lantern down. Zach passive getting popped. Jinx looking to return damage, but it might be too little too late as Poppy comes down. The E into the wall. Is it going to come through the ult? Another kill for
Man.
Lucian.
Amazing play right there. I mean, Glacial Academy just pushed up a bit too much there, trying to force a play when they're behind, just getting blown up. And
Yep.
Poppy coming in to save the day.
Yep, and Nami
Amazing
just
play by Better Boys.
Nami just has to be more careful than that. She felt confident with the Zac in her back pocket, but you know, this is a Thresh and a 2-kill Lucian with a completed Noon Quiver, so he is not by any stretch of the imagination weak. And she just walks into the hook, a little bit too confident there. They need to look to play a little bit more safe. Stop the bleeding on the side of Glacial Academy.
Exactly. Butter Boys exercising their will right now. You know, executing their game plan almost perfectly, hitting all the hooks they need to, getting leads across the map. Yasuo making great plays mid, and Poppy doing your job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is about playing out as we expected. A lot of bot lane priority. Really looking to snowball this Lucian. Yasuo doing a great job in the mid lane as well. Bubble coming down to look to disengage. Thresh is still walking though. Flash on the Jinx.
Yeah, this is
Lucian's
looking
gonna
really
get
dangerous
lanterned
for
in.
the Jinx.
Here we go. He's gonna look for the play. Jinx flashing down. Hook onto Nami, and that's just going to be another double kill for the Lucian. Great
Amazing
Thresh
play by
play
them.
right there.
Yeah, amazing play. Mordekaiser in a 1v3. To be honest, I think he wins this. He still's got his ult, doesn't he?
Yep. He's ulting
no,
the
he
Malphite
doesn't.
now. Flash forwards. The Q damage isn't going to be enough. Binding from Lux misses, but Malphite ult coming over the top to secure it. Good cross map play from Glacial Academy. We like to see that. Bot lane is going badly. They just walk top and get a kill. Really nice cross map play. They're down a lot, but still fighting, still looking for options. Great play from the Glacial Academy, looking to accomplish something where they have priority. They know that they're not strong bot side. They just look to top side. Try to get the Malphite Deluxe rolling and see if that can be their avenue back into the game.
Yeah, not a bad play. You know, if they can get that Mordekaiser to be kind of irrelevant, that's their only magic damage. So they need to be careful about the end game with Jinx and all AD on one team.
Yep.
In that case.
Very true. Looking like a bot lane roam from Yasuo won't amount to too much. Lucian is dashing in, looking for auto trades. The traps are going to come down and force the Lucian flash. That's going to be about all, as Zac has no flash to follow, nor does Jinx. Really risky play there from Lucian. Would not recommend dashing into a turret 1v3, but hey, he's feeling confident. He's 5-0. However, he does have a 600 gold shutdown. So if I'm Lucian, you need to maybe play a little bit more safe. You don't want to give a 1,000 gold kill over to the Jinx and make this
Exactly.
game a lot
These
more
shutdowns.
difficult on yourself.
These shutdowns are going to be very important for Glacial Academy. They're looking
Yeah.
to cash in big, especially if they can get them on their carries. You know,
Yeah,
this game could quickly turn around for them.
absolutely. And Lucian has no flash. Zac still hovering around in the bot lane. If we look to top, neither top lane are having flash. Looks like they're just
second
trading
dragon going
damage.
down?
Second dragon is being hit right now by the Poppy and the Yasuo.
So looking to force dragons with their lead. It should be free. Smite going down. They're getting securing dragon.
Yep. Good play right there. Stacking the dragons. They're already on 2 dragons at 12 minutes, making it a bit scary for Glacial Academy. Putting a timer on that. You know, soul point's going to be up much sooner than they would like now. Some more trading going on in the top lane. Won't amount to much still. Neither flash for either top laner. And Malphite just looking to catch this wave safely under turret. Malphite still doing well in this lane. He's going to be up farm after he catches this wave. Has the kill. Has the Merc treads. In a great spot, to be honest.
Yeah, Glacial Academy doing everything they can to stop the bleeding from bottom lane. They got their eyes on the bounties. Let's see if they can make a play coming up.
Yep, absolutely. Everything starts to chill out for a little bit as Poppy just looks to clear camps. Poppy and Zach pathing in the same direction towards the top lane.
Yeah, Suo heading to mid with his newly minted Immortal Shield bow. That's a big power spike for him.
That is a huge power spike. That is a very sad day if you're Lux trying to kill the Immortal Shield bow Yasuo. Let's see how he can use this item spike to keep the snowball rolling for Butter Boys. Can he force more fights, play a bit more aggressive now that he has the lifeline passive from Shield Bow? Rift Herald being put down mid to just quickly take down mid turret and open up the map for Butter Boys.
That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Lux. All of a sudden, things got a lot less safe for her.
Second charge being hit onto mid-inner. They're just looking to take down mid-inner, and this is going to go down. Not enough wave clear from the Lux.
Butter Boys getting the second tower as well.
Yep.
This game's snowballing out of control. You see the gold differential there. Almost 10k. We'll be there soon.
Yep.
I believe.
Yep. A scary spot. Bot lane turret's going to fall shortly thereafter. Now, how does Butter Boys close out this game? It seems like they are way ahead. That's true, but notably, objective bounties are going to be up for Glacial Academy. And when you have a low range comp like this, it becomes a bit difficult to siege past those tier 1s. You don't have a lot of range to hit turrets. You still have really good engage on the side of Glacial Academy. It gets a bit scary. And as we said before, you have a 650 gold shutdown on the Lucian. And I say that, and look at top, another play being made. Lux is walking out. Malphite looking to maybe pick up the kill. Mordekaiser is so loaded. Q comes down. Lux flashing forward for the E, and he's going to get it. Beautiful play by the Lux. What a play. Lemon roaming up and really making her impact on the map.
Yeah, kill secured. It didn't look like it was going to go through at first, but the flash being burned. Nice clean E from the Lux to clean it up. That gank almost ran out of steam quick.
Yeah, great play though. Still, Glacial Academy, despite being down in gold, despite this rough early game going all Butter Boys' way, they are still looking to fight back and make plays, executing where they have advantages. They knew that top lane was a point where they could abuse, and they're just doing their best to do it. Really like to see this from Glacial Academy. They're not giving up. They're staying in the game. They're fighting right to the end, looking to scale. And still, as we mentioned earlier, huge shutdowns on the side of Yasuo and Lucian. And
exactly. We talked about the mid roams before the game, and there you see it in action.
Yep.
The Lux making an amazing roam top side, high impact play right there.
That is, and if you're an 0-2 Lux, being able to walk top and still get a kill into a Yasuo is quite impressive. You know, she's down. Her tier 2 turret has already been killed. Minions are hitting her inhibitor turret, and she's still roaming top and finding kills. So really great play from Lemon, making her mark on the SLS early on.
Yeah. Glacial Academy staying within 10k gold. They're at around 8k right now. So clawing their way back in this. If they can keep, playing where they're ahead on the top lane, there's a bit of hope. That gold graph's turning around at the end.
Yep. Objective bounties are insane. Here comes Yasuo looking to come top, but Malphite flashing out nicely.
Yeah, already almost no damage going out onto that Malphite. You see, it could be a tough game for their AD carries.
Yep, and you see Malphite doesn't even have any armor items. He just has a Balmy Cinder and Mercury Treads. And a tier and some more MR. So no armor. Once he starts to get the Bramble Vest, once he starts to get all of those fun armor items the AD carries love, he's going to be even more difficult to kill. TP coming down from the Malphite though as Butter Boys look to force a fight. Lucian ult coming over. Kha'Zix's E-Girl is going to fall. The passive breaks up, but that is just going to slow things down for the moment. Huge ult damage, almost killing Flip Trick. That is very sad. Flip Trick living with what must have been like 100 HP.
Yeah, Glacial Academy getting caught in their bottom side jungle. Their bot lanes, I'm going to say pretty irrelevant at this point.
Oh, huge Malphite coming over the top. And the Lux binding is going to follow up unstoppable. A shutdown going over to Yasuo, though. He's going to look for another one onto Lemon. A good effort from the Malphite, but not
Giving up
enough
the
fall
shutdown.
damage.
The third dragon. I mean, it's worth a contest. I don't know. It's a tough game.
Yep, you have to make a play at some point. You know, there's no clear options when you're down like this, so you have to flip something. Look for the dragon play. It is unfortunate that the shutdown went over to Yasuo. He is 6-0 now, super strong with a 700 gold bounty on him and a 700 gold bounty on the Lucian as well.
He's going to be a problem. What can you do against Yasuo?
Yeah.
As Lux, Jinx, and Nami. Sometimes that's a game you can't win.
Really unfortunate that the Lux ult doesn't kill the Lucian, though. You see this game is, you know, it's a 10k gold lead for Butter Boys, but that Lucian still almost gets one shot by the Lux. So anything can really turn around in just a moment's notice in a team fight when you have these really strong ultimates from the side of Glacial Academy. A Malphite ult into a Lux ult, into a Jinx ult is going to blow up anyone, no matter how many kills they have.
Exactly. There's not too much counterplay there, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Kha'Zix Eagle looking to maybe make something happen in the mid lane. Not going to amount to much, as Lucian's is going to safely pick up the farm, and the game starts to lull for just a moment. Butterboy is looking to keep this bot side vision up that's been so valuable in forcing picks, and the Glacial Academy needs to respect the fact that, you know, it is their bot side jungle, but it's not really their bot side jungle anymore. They don't have any more turrets down there, and Butterboys can kind of freely walk in as they please.
Yeah, Glacial Academy having to be very careful every step of the way now. Every bush could mean instant death for them.
The
Nami
Nami
ult going out there, protecting the jungle vision.
Yep, looking to just maybe disengage the Poppy from the Lux. Playing safe. Zac, he's going to come in. They're going on the Poppy. The Poppy is very tanky. Zac flashing for the Q. Jinx is free hitting on the side. Can they get to him? The Yasuo ult is just going to one-shot him, though. A good attempt by Glacial Academy, but at this point, I think they just got hit by the wallets of Butter Boys. Over a 10k, 12k gold lead at this point. Really hard to fight into that Yasuo. He is so strong. Already has 2 items. And Butterboy is going to look to start up Baron here.
Yeah, really a bad call to fight at this point in the game. They're not looking to team fight at all. They're just looking to farm those side lanes, you know, and maybe get some of those objective bounties, which are really clutch. You know, in this day and age, it really defines the mid game when you can punish some bad macro decisions that a lot of amateur series players make.
Right.
There's lots of gold on those side lanes.
Absolutely, yeah. So here we go. Butterboys getting the Baron, taking a base, and it looks like they're just going to walk it down mid with their bot lane. Mordekaiser are still in the top lane, looking to just split push, apply some more pressure. Malphite catching the midway for now as Lux walks top to try to farm safely. Yasuo's just wasting no time. He is just engaging immediately onto the Malphite. Gets a good chunk, but won't amount to much more as Malphite kind of just walks out with the Q. Their bot lane has to be careful, though. They are super overextended. The portal from the Poppy and Thresh looking to team up. They're just going to go on this Nami right now. She needs to be careful.
Yeah, the
fight happening in the mid lane, and oh my goodness, the Malphite out coming over the top of the Lucian. That's a shutdown to Zac. Yasuo looking to turn it around. Q landing, but won't be able to get anything in return. Huge shutdown for Glacial Academy, and Butterboy just punished for being super overconfident. Their jungler and their support were walking bottom looking for a pick when the Lucian is just walking up in the face of a Malphite, hitting the turret. Can't be doing that. As we mentioned before, Lucian's still a really low range AD carry. Cannot be walking up like that.
Great Malphite ulti. The Hextech portals opened up and it accelerated the game, but unfortunately accelerated Lucian straight to handing over that $1,000 bounty.
Yep.
Zach going to be feeling a bit more powerful now, I think. He's going to be building some armor.
Absolutely. And if you look at his items now, he has steel caps, he has a bramble vest, and he has part of Randuin's already built. So he is looking to absorb all of the AD damage from the side of Butterboys. That makes him much more difficult to kill, and he has a passive. We have the Ludens on the Lux making her hurt quite a bit, and then Jinx completing his Kraken Slayer. So some power spikes coming in to the side of Glacial Academy. Malphite has his first item completed and a bramble vest as well, making it more difficult for Yasuo and Lucian to play the game. So huge play from Glacial Academy right there, doing a really good job of punishing that over aggression from Butterboys. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds though. Here we go. This fight is very pivotal. probably going to
fourth-
decide the game.
4th dragon spawn. Butter Boys wants this fight. Let's look for them to force it. Glacial Academy probably just, they don't want to give up soul here no matter
Yep.
what.
That is true. Zach going in so early by himself, but the Malphite on to 3. Zach and Lux ulti channel over the top, and oh my goodness, huge Nami wave. Jinx is free hitting. They have to stop the Yasuo though. He's looking to turn it around. Jinx is still untouched in this fight. What can Jinx do? Looking to maybe clean it up, get excited and snowball the fight, but it is just too little, too late. Great attempt from the side of Glacial Academy, but Butter Boys, the 10k gold lead is just coming into play too much right there. The Yasuo was unkillable in that fight and just absolutely wiping the back line. Great ultimates though, I have to say, great engage. I was a little bit skeptical of the Zac going in so early, but followed right up by the Malphite and the Luxo over the top. Unfortunate that, you know, the gold is so far ahead for Butter Boys, but really great team fighting on the side of Glacial Academy, giving it their best shot there.
Amazing team fights on both sides there. You're right. That Zac went in what it seemed like so early, but you know, the amount of engage that Glacial Academy has, that was an amazing engage in retrospect. Like they caught out 4 of them right there with the Malphite ult almost.
Yeah.
Lux laser coming in. That was almost
Absolutely.
instantly 2 deaths. If this game was a bit closer, man, that would have been,
Yeah,
that would have
absolutely.
been a killer engage.
That's just a wipe. That is just a wipe. But Glacial Academy still in it. Soul on to Butter Boys is not ideal. But they're still in it. They're still looking to fight, still looking to claw their way back into the game. Objective bounties on the map, of course. They could possibly find an angle there. Good traps from Jinx going to disengage the Yasuo as she just runs for her life. The Gale Force from Lucian coming in, followed up by the E though. And too many dashes for the side of Lucian. Jinx getting caught out. She's looking to push out the wave, trying to stall things a little bit, but just overstepped too far. And
Yeah,
Butter Boys.
Knocking on the doorstep. Soul has been claimed. They're as strong as they need to be to end this game. So look for them to close it out with some good solid macro.
Yep, it looks like they're just putting 3 mid as 2 walk bottom to take down that bot lane inner turret. The Lux laser coming over the top, just a wave clear here. And stall it out. Again, Butter Boys still having a lot of issues sieging. They just don't have a lot of wave clear, a lot of low damage, or low range champions, excuse me. And you have the Lux E, you have the Lux ult, a lot of wave clear on the side of Glacial Academy, making it harder than Butter Boys would like to siege this. And Jinx getting caught by the Mordekaiser pull, and he is just going to die. Absolutely one shot.
The margin for error is so
Is
small here when you're
very
this far
slim.
behind.
Yep, absolutely. The mid inhibitor going down shortly for the side of Butter Boys. And they're going to look to just walk right down bottom, take bottom inhibitor, and then maybe look for an end angle or just base and walk to Baron. Hook's going to land. Big Lux ult, though. Malphite ult
Amazing
is going
play.
to hit 3. The Yasuo still so strong, though, and it doesn't look like they just have the damage. Diving under 2 turrets. And just absolutely wiping the side of Glacial Academy.
Amazing play by the Thresh there. Going in on the Malphite, a bit questionable, but hitting the play. And Yasuo cleaning it up with the ulti.
And that looks like Butter Boys is going to take game 1 in convincing fashion, executing their early game plan, getting every dragon, losing no turrets. That's a big win from Butter Boys, starting out their debut of the SOS in very strong fashion. You know,
Definitely super clean game. They executed their plan perfectly.
yep, they got the picks they wanted. They knew how to use them. Pretty much won every lane except for top. One mid quite convincingly, one bot quite convincingly. Definitely a few oversteps in the mid to late game, getting picked when they possibly didn't have to. But overall, really strong performance on the side of Butter Boys. With that being said, Glacial Academy showing some fight in those dragon fights, in that mid fight. Despite being down, you know, a lot of gold, the Lux looking to roam to pick up kills in the top lane was huge, and some really, really solid team fighting coming out of the side of Glacial Academy, which, you know, begs the question, if they make it to that mid-late game with less of a gold discrepancy, how does this game play out? So maybe some ban adaptations, maybe that Thresh doesn't make it through draft. It was a really, really difficult champion to deal with in the bot lane. Helped snowball the Lucian a lot. So maybe if ban adaptations happen, Thresh doesn't make it through, Game 2 will look a lot different. Glacial Academy, though, some really positive points, definitely showing a lot of fight.
Exactly. Glacial Academy being so far down, but having, a ton of glimmers of hope in some of those fights. Almost swung them. Like, if there was no Super 8-0 Yasuo, those fights would have gone completely differently. And they should be looking forward to the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a lot of shining points for Glacial Academy. And, this is still a new team. This is pretty much their first game playing together against a team that's been playing for a while. So really good to see them, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, almost out team fighting Butterboys. I think, Butterboys has a huge gold lead. It's pretty hard to mess up a team fight when you're up 10k gold and you have a Yasuo who can just dash wherever he pleases with shield bow, right? So Butterboy still managing to find, or Glacial Academy, excuse me, still managing to find kills, still comboing ults well, still having good engaged angles, and playing around what was a difficult game really well. But with that being said, Butterboys also, the early game was incredibly strong, pressured pretty much every advantage they had. Poppy super active, bot lane 2v2, just getting 2v2 kills. Really solid early game from the side of Butterboys.
Yeah, so Joel, what do you think going into the second pick and ban phase? What adaptations do you see going forward?
I would say ban Thresh, ban Yasuo, get them out of there. Not fun champions to deal with. Make it really hard to lane. Callista, whatever. They can have the Callista, but the Thresh seems like it is a huge power pick. It's a really hard champion to play Enchanters into. So I would like to see a Thresh ban if I am the side of Glacial Academy. Maybe pick a support that can handle that bot lane aggression a little bit better. I think Nami has a really difficult time. Yeah, but besides that, I think the Yasuo is probably problematic too. I would get the Yasuo out as well.
Yeah, it can be really tough as Jinx if you don't really have a front line for you. If you're getting hard engaged on the whole game, it's sometimes pretty hopeless unless you got Gale Force for some reason. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do because at this level of League of Legends, not everything is an option. Sometimes you can't counter pick. You still have to execute your plays well. So the bans, let's see the bans completely change. If they're struggling with certain matchups or if they want to play a different style, I think it's going to come down to the pick and ban phase.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. We'll see how they adapt the draft. Obviously, they'll be switching sides, so we'll see if there's any adaptations from Butterboys. It seemed like their draft worked out really well. We'll see what they prioritize as they are drafting on blue side now. They have the first pick, power pick. I will say I would like on the side of Butterboys maybe a little bit of a different drafting style. I think they showed a lot of their picks really early on. It didn't amount to much in terms of counter picks, but something to think about when you are on the red side, really being able to utilize your counter pick options.
Yeah, and one of the biggest ones was I think the Poppy counter pick on the Zac because the jungle matchup is game defining. If you have a losing jungle matchup versus if you have a winning jungle matchup, it can make all the difference in the game. Yeah, especially when you're picking such thin lanes and squishy lanes. You really need your jungle. Like we had a couple good kills on the Zac, but they came a bit too late, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we have an interview with Smay from Glacial Academy, the top laner, who played that Malphite super well. Picked up some kills in what was a very difficult game. So, let's hear what they have to say, maybe what their adaptations are, how they feel about going into game 2.
Hey.
Hey, so
Yeah.
what was your name, Smay?
Yes.
Yeah, rough game for you guys, but it looked you had lots of glimmers of hope that game. I'll say, considering how far behind you guys were, you guys had some amazing engages, some amazing team fights, almost pulling it back despite the odds against you. So talk to us about that. What were you guys feeling that game?
Yeah, so what I can tell you from my top lane personally was that I picked into Mord. I didn't mean to. So I got counter picked just right off the bat. So I thought this game would go horribly for my lane anyways, but I ended up playing safe and doing pretty decently against the Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
Even though we were like really, really behind, we did okay in the team fights that we participated in. It's just they had such a gold advantage. I mean, Lux had amazing ults. Zach had amazing engages that I could follow up on. Didn't have to think when I aimed my ult, so so I'm feeling really good going to game 2.
Awesome, and that's definitely something that Derek and I were talking about throughout the game and after. Your team fighting looked super strong despite being down in gold. You know, 4-man Malphite ults, big engages on that dragon fight. I think if you guys are a little bit closer, it looks, you know, like a much different game. So what are some
Absolutely.
adaptations you guys think going into game 2 that you feel are necessary? Do you think you'll go with a similar style or switch it up, or
I
what do
think
you
we'll
think?
definitely switch it up because all our damage is concentrated on Jinx,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, Jinx. It was a hard lane for Jinx, so
Sure.
we didn't have much damage to go off of. We were just
Mhm.
a bunch of tanks and support. So
Yeah.
definitely, definitely spread out the damage distribution a little more next game. I think we'll do much better. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah.
good call.
Yeah, and mental wise, I know games like that are always tough. How do you guys feel like your mental is going into game 2?
Super well. I think we're all supportive of each other.
Nice.
Love the support community. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Yeah, of course. That's what we like to hear. Good luck on game 2. We look forward to watching you up in that top lane on the Malphite, something else, whatever you choose to bring. We know it'll be exciting. Smay, thank
Absolutely.
you for your time. Good luck.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, after that, I'm really excited now for game 2. Let's
Yeah.
see if Glacial Academy can, you know, make some of those changes that they talked about, make some of those adaptations, and swing the game in their favor. Maybe have a bit more of an even mid game, and show their strengths as an amazing team fighting squad.
Yep, absolutely. And now they will be drafting on red side, so they do get to see a lot more of what Butterboys is going to pick, have more counter pick options. Hopefully they utilize those well. That's what I would like to see. Maybe draft into a better bot lane matchup. I think that was really tough. And then hopefully the mid matchup a little bit more even. Maybe ban out the Yasuo, take some of those challenging lanes to play into, and neutralize some of the potential early game aggression from the side of Butterboys.
Yeah, a lot of potential changes coming into the second game. Hopefully we get into the champ select soon. I'm excited.
Me too.
So Joel, what's your prediction this game? Who do you think is going to win?
I'm sticking with my boys from Glacial Academy. I think they show a lot of promise, and I think that if they, if they keep up the that solid team fighting and then just minimize the early game kind of pressure from the side of Butterboys, I think, based on that game, based on what we saw, and again, this last game was almost 20k gold lead, I think, for the side of Butterboys. So maybe that sounds silly to say, but I think when Glacial Academy, had their moments, had their team fights, they looked really solid. And I think if they're able to do that, if they're able to go into the mid-late game with a more narrow gold deficit, or maybe even a gold lead, they're in a really solid spot to take game 2.
Yeah, hopefully Glacial Academy can quickly learn their lessons and turn this series around so we can get an awesome
3.
best of 3 here.
There we go. That's what we all want to see. Game 3. What do you think? You're gonna...
Good question. To be honest, I kind of want to hold my vote off till I can see champ select
Yeah.
bans, because that's going to be really telling. I think if Glacial Academy, comes out with a different champ select order,
Sure,
and maybe a bit more solidified of a strategy, it's going to be, it's going to be obvious that their mental has changed and they kind of know what they have to do going forward. But
yeah.
if we see the same kind of patterns, then my hope is slowly going out the window.
And that's fair. I think I think best of 3 series are really weird because when you've never played a team before, you have no idea how they're going to play. So it's hard to go into that first game, but you do start to get a lot of info going into game 2. So interested to see how they'll adapt. Nivea ban right out the bat, and there we go. We see the Thresh ban. Like that a lot. Looks like Butterboys are just going to stick with the same bans. Makes sense. Didn't seem to be any major issues. Taking away the Nivea. Really
Yeah,
strong.
sticking with their
safe way
game
to play.
plan.
Yep.
Smart move to stick with what they know.
Yep.
And let's see if Glacial Academy can counter it.
All
So
right.
far they are. Thresh ban, Yasuo ban, they're doing everything
Thresh
right.
Yasuo ban. Yeah, I like the Thresh Yasuo. Get them right out. Don't give them the option to first pick any of those champions. Taking away what was, I think, the kind of biggest factors in the last win for the side of Butterboys.
Yeah, honestly, Yasuo was game changing. Like just the sustain he has in team fights and just the team comp that Butterboys went with. they didn't really have the sustained damage with the Jinx so far behind to take down Yasuo. There's nothing really you could do, to be honest, with so many tanks.
Yep.
He can just do it all. So
Yep.
this game's gonna look completely different. I can tell you that now.
Yep. All right, Viejo coming out. The poll is up. So if you're in Twitch chat, don't forget to vote
Make
who
your
you think
predictions.
will win game 2. Make your predictions exactly. Here we go. What will Hero lock in? It is the Fiddlesticks first pick. So another kind of a different style, right? Fiddlesticks not going to have the same kind of early game gank pressure that Poppy does, but brings a lot of value into team fights, but is very weak and susceptible to invades in the early game. So let's see what Glacial Academy decides to do here, how they answer this Fiddlesticks first pick. They're going to go back to the Lux. They like that. I like the Lux on red side, though. It does give you the option to flex it into support, as Unami does play a little bit of Lux support, or hold it into the mid lane. So a good flexible pick, not really showing their hand too much at all. Big fan of that Lux pick right here on red.
Yeah, and I was just about to say I'm a big fan of the Fiddlesticks pick. Butter Boys realizing that Glacial Academy, has a good team fighting comp. Maybe going to catch them off guard if they can get them grouped up with a big Fiddle ulti. It's going to be interesting now. They got the counter pick.
Yep, absolutely. And the Jinx, they're gonna go back to the Jinx. I think they feel as though if they ban out the Thresh, they really neutralize a lot of the bot lane pressure, and the Jinx pick is fine. Makes sense to me. Still a pretty neutral draft for the side of Glacial Academy. They can go a lot of different directions with it. They have the flex on the Lux. Blitzcrank. They banned out the Thresh. There's still 2 more hook champions. One of them is Blitzcrank. Butter Boys, they like their hook champions. What can we say? They're just going to do Blitzcrank. So, how is Glacial Academy going to respond to that?
Yeah, look, I'm assuming that's not a Lux support, right? That's Lux mid.
I assume it's Lux mid, but their support also plays Lux. So we'll see. Zed mid. Another scary assassin, another champion that can get a lot of solo kills if given the opportunity, especially into a champion like Lux. So let's see, how Glacial Academy responds to this. Will they put Lux bottom and try to pick something that deals with the Zed mid a little bit better, or will they try to give the counter pick to mid and get a good matchup? The Janna support, Janna really strong right now. Was being played top a lot, but on this patch that nerfed the support top meta, I assume it is going support. And we are moving into second ban phase. Here we go. What will Glacial Academy take out?
Yeah, I think really good draft by both teams right now. So showing some adaptations, showing, if you ban our one hook champion, we got another pool of hook champions to pick.
Yeah.
So try us.
The Mordekais are getting taken out of the draft, just banning a lot of the champions from the first game. The Zac, in response to that, the Zac was a super valuable pick. So like to see the Zac ban from the side of Butter Boys. I think it was a really huge pick for Glacial Academy. One of the shining lights in their game 1.
Exactly. Zac and a really annoying champion. Everything could be going so well, and all of a sudden you got a pile of goo slapped on your screen.
Yep.
And you're going gray.
Yep, it is not fun at all. Lucian being taken out, so they don't want that Lucian pick. I expect to see that Butter Boys, well, we'll see what they ban. Maybe it's the Malphite, and I assume, yep, it is the Malphite here.
Good call.
Probably a mid pick here, or excuse me, they already picked mid, so maybe jungle pick here, and then they'll hold the top for counter. I assume that Butter Boys is going to pick Callista. Yeah, that's fun.
So Juani coming through, a much more interesting draft than last time. I think a lot of strategies showing now. We got a lot more information to work with, and teams now know what they're up against.
Yep, I really like the Janna pick into the Fiddlesticks. Obviously, you can just ult the Fiddlesticks and gauge out. Same with the Zed, it's a lot of peel, a lot of protection. I think it's a lot better than the Nami, a lot more disengaged than the Nami, and more safety to the Jinx. So like the Janna pick a lot. Good adaptation, I think. Ashe coming down. Really surprised by the Ashe pick, to be honest. Don't think it's super strong right now. The buff to the ultimate is something, but I don't think it is as good as something maybe like Callista into a Janna, giving you a lot of early game pressure. So we'll see how they navigate the bot lane with the Ashe and a less aggressive AD carry than last time. Aatrox.
Yeah, Aatrox and Ashe, a lot of pressure going to be on them to carry this game, I think.
Sure. Aatrox, another champion that doesn't do super well into long-range champions, though. He really likes when there's champions diving into him, and another champion that has a lot of trouble dealing with something like Janna the Mundo on the side of Glacial Academy. Again, I really like this Glacial Academy draft. I think it's really well-rounded, provides a lot of flexibility. This game, I think they definitely have a little bit more strength in the early game. Hopefully they use that effectively. I think that this bot lane matchup, you know, the Blitzcrank always scary, but if you play around it well, I would say that Glacial Academy having a much stronger bot lane this game. The Ashe is just not a very strong AD right now. Jinx, you know, one of the absolute strongest ADs. Really solid lane pressure, can push waves. The Janna gives her a lot of protection and disengage. And that Fiddlesticks, not nearly as much early game gank pressure as the Poppy. So Glacial Academy going into this game with there's less pressure put down on them, you know, right out the gate than last. But with that being said, Butter Boys having a little bit more team fight presence than they did in the last game, I would say. You have the Fiddlesticks ult, you have the Ashe arrow for engage, the Blitzcrank pick. So, you know, different styles from each composition. Again, this is another game where I like Glacial Academy's draft a little bit more, but, you know, all that kind of means nothing depending on how the game goes. So we'll see how game 2 ends up. Really like the adaptations to draft made by Glacial Academy. You know, I think they're putting themselves in a good spot.
I agree with you, Joel. Glacial Academy, solid team comp all around. Good backline, amazing front line and engage. And Butter Boys, I think they just got a bit thin of a team. You know, you're relying on the Zed and Fiddlesticks, Ashe, Aatrox. They're kind of, I don't know. They got a bit of a weird team comp. I think we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna work out for them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of pressure on the Janna this game to be able to disengage the Fiddlesticks and the Zed. If they do that well, really difficult for Ashe to play the game into two super tanky champions like Mundo and Sejuani, who can just absolutely run her down as she does no damage. She doesn't have any type of real escape or anyone to peel for her. So, you know, this is a huge game for Janna. Unami coming out here, looking to adjust from game 1 and show what she can do on this Janna pick. A lot of pressure resting on her in the team fights to, you know, play that game well and make sure she's disengaging the fiddle ultimate, the ZR, the Aatrox just run at you. So we'll see how she handles it.
Aatrox is going to have a big role to fill this game, you know, as really the only frontline bruiser, unless you count Blitzcrank. He's going to have to be very, very careful about his movement because, you know, probably going to have to peel for his whole team.
Sure. With that being said, we also have so much pick on the side of Butter Boys, right? Glacial Academy needs to be really careful of their position. You have an immobile AD carry in Jinx, and you have an immobile mid laner in Lux with Ashe Arrow and Zed ult and Blitzcrank hook. So need to make sure that they have good defensive vision. Need to make sure that they're not walking up too far by themselves and allowing Butter Boys to get these picks for free.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think my predictions with Glacial Academy this game, they got a solid draft, you know, an easy, straightforward strategy to follow. And I think they're looking for the redemption arc. I'm looking for the comeback game.
Yeah, absolutely. I want a game 3, so Glacial Academy needs to come out here.
So you see, we got 30 seconds till the game starts. And Sejuani jungle versus Fiddlesticks. Let's talk about that one because Fiddlesticks normally just kind of farms now. I don't see him running Predator too often.
Yeah.
And looking just to control those dragon fights and make sure that nothing gets taken. Whereas Sejuani, really strong champion, really amazing jungler, locking down enemies left, right, and center. Hopefully we see some early plays from her to capitalize. Yeah,
for sure. And I think, you know, the Sejuani pick is the Sejuani pick I think is a really strong sleeper pick. Super good early game damage, really hard to skirmish with, a lot of CC, a lot of gank pressure, excuse me. And, you know, she does have some solid lanes that if she goes to can follow up the Jinx traps over the top of her knockup, make it pretty difficult for Ashe to escape. You know, she doesn't have any dashes like the Lucian or even the Callista, and she doesn't really have a support that can effectively peel for her. So, you know, I think this game, again, a lot of a focus on bot lane. They said that they wanted to change it up so all their damage wasn't on the Jinx, but all their damage is still kind of on the Jinx. So they need to make sure that Jinx gets strong. And another note to talk about, how they adapt to the level 1. You know, they gave up the first blood early last game. They're into a Blitzcrank champion that wants to invade. how do they play around that? Do they stack? Do they just give up that push control and look to defensively ward, look to take away that option from Blitzcrank? So how do they play around the hook lane again this game? Super important. It was a big problem in game 1. You know, how they talk about that, figure that out, and move into game 2 will be interesting to see for sure.
Exactly. Look for them to set up that earlier vision, maybe group up, like you said, and contest the invade. There's a couple of good options. I'm excited to see what they choose.
Yep, absolutely. All right. We should be right on to the Rift in a moment. Glacial Academy being the winners of the prediction poll for game 2. Hopefully they can not let the fans down and take this victory, put us into game 3. We will see though.
Yeah, we're all in it together now. The fans, the casters, rooting for the Glacial Academy arc.
The
Let's see them
underdog.
pull it off. Exactly.
What do you think of the top lane matchup? So top lane last time, you know, I said it was going to be a bit of a boring lane. Malphite ended up getting, I think, 1 solo kill maybe, and then a couple ganks off. So, you know, what I thought was going to be a boring lane ended up probably being the most pivotal lane for the side of Glacial Academy. So Aatrox and Mundo, what do you think?
I mean, just to talk about the last game for a second, yeah, sometimes when you get counterpicked, it opens up the most space on the map, you know, because when matchups are even, you know, the lane's kind of just in the middle and the gank opportunities aren't as good. But when you have such like a hard counter, like the gank opportunities are fruitful, right? So
Sure.
it sometimes makes the most action when you get as hard countered as possible and see those matchups getting flipped on their heads.
Absolutely. So Butterboy is still looking to do the invade. Top side instead of bot.
30 seconds until
And
minions spawn.
Glacial Academy is just stacking on the bot side. So it looks like they're just going to miss each other. Mundo needs to be careful walking by himself. He is looking like he is going to walk into 5 Boys players. He is face checking the red buff, and this might just be certain death. He's going to blow the flash. I don't think it will save him. First blood over to the Zed.
Oh, that's not what you want right there.
That is a very sad day for the Mundo, using his flash and still dying, and the kill going over to Zed.
I'm a big fan of the pathing on the Butter Boys there, going into the top side red jungle. That's a really important bush to ward, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and they get the pink down on that bush right there, so they know that he's going to be starting. But look at this, Glacial Academy is just walking into bot lane, looking to get a return kill onto the AD. Lux landing the binding on the Ashe with no flash, taken down low, and wow, great play. Glacial Academy making a huge adaptation there. They knew that they were invading top side. They walked right to bot side and punished the just kind of careless passing by the Ashe. They had no bot side vision, no idea what to do, and that is absolutely huge. Ashe blowing both summoner spells, still dying, and will be late to lane, losing out on XP. Jinx is going to hit level 2 first, has all sums. That is a huge play on the side of Glacial Academy. Love that adaptation right there.
That's a perfect play when you see some crazy aggression, 5-man stacking from your other team. You know that they can't be everywhere. Lots of trades going up in the top lane already. Aatrox looking to press his advantage in that early game Mundo. And now Ashe and Blitz kind of getting zoned after that early game.
Yep, absolutely. Such a good play. Look at the traps coming down, looking for some pressure onto the Ashe. Not going to amount to too much.
Sejuani actually looking for roam mid. Oh no.
Nice little view of the side of the map.
Most recently updated.
Does look very good. Love what Riot did. Now we get to see the other side of the map.
Beautiful shadows.
Look at the detail on the trees. Beautiful.
Such a point of
Absolutely
interest.
beautiful. And the hook comes down as soon as we get back into action. Flash force out from Janna. Good traps to disengage any further aggression, and that's going to end it there. But Janna forced to blow flash. Very scary. Janna does have the support item that you can last hit for your AD. Forget what it's called, but a lot of damage
like
coming down. That's
coming in on the bot lane.
Coming around, but Jinx doing a lot of damage onto the Ashe. They still have to be a bit careful. She's just looking to turn around. No flash on the Ashe. I think if she flashed for the kill, yeah, that's going to be 1 for Jinx. Looking to turn it back onto 2. Can't flash the Blitz hook, but still trades the kill back. And Sejuani's here, maybe looking to clean up. What can she do?
So much action
Flashing
in the bot
forward
lane
and
there.
killing the Blitzcrank. Maybe he's so low he's going to make it out. One auto left on the Blitzcrank. Somehow makes it out. Absolutely crazy. So much action going on here early. Great job on the side of Jinx. Still trading a kill
Amazing
back
on
on
the
the gank.
Blitzcrank. Amazing on the Blitzcrank as well, hitting the hook on the
Yeah.
Jailen before it, then hitting the hook again to secure the kill. Clutching it up.
Huge. Yeah, but if you look at this game compared to the last one, look at how they're playing. Look at the fight on the side of Glacial Academy. You know, all the things that were wrong being corrected here. The barrier is going to come out. Will it be enough to stop the Ignite, take the second proc of shield? And now Zed just flashes level 7 mastery for absolutely nothing. Great play by the Lux, blocking that damage. The Zed didn't think about the barrier, and you know, good job being able to survive that all-in threat from the side of Zed. Needs to now be a little bit careful as Jono's looking to hover mid, give some support to the Lux as she looks to just catch what XP she can.
Exactly, a bit overconfident by the Zed there, but amazing barrier usage and the W shield. You know, kind of surprising how many shields you get as Lux.
Yeah. You think there's no way she could possibly have more? Huge solo kill on the side of Hero 39, punishing the fact that Smay still has no flash and Aatrox starting to snowball a little bit. Good job punishing the flashless top laner there.
Yeah, Aatrox going to be a huge part in making this a smooth game for Butterboards. You know, really their only bruiser, like I said. So if he's strong, the game's a bit easy. If he's really weak, it's going to be a super tough game.
Yeah, absolutely. Sejuani taking the red, clearing that pink ward that was left from the level 1 invade. Good bot lane state for the side of Glacial Academy though. Doing a really good job adapting to the game 1. And we're going to take another look of Summoner's Rift. Just look at what Riot is doing to this map.
Yeah, beautiful progression. You know, I wish they added
Absolutely.
snow and stuff. Wasn't there some Christmas
True,
trees?
there was Christmas trees and stuff. They did like seasonal maps, but they stopped doing that. Unfortunate. Lux looking to play safe now. She has no barrier. Needs to be careful of that Zed all in. Throwing out the binding, looking for some poke, going wide. And Jinx
Zed with the first blood, very strong right now.
absolutely already sitting on that serrated Dirk and boots. Now Jinx looks to push out this bot lane slowly. Still playing a bit safe, wary of the Fiddlesticks gang. She still has flash, mind you. She didn't use it at all yet. Fiddlesticks in the bot lane, so her intuition is correct to be wary of that jungler. Sejuani looking to pass down to cover for the bot lane as Hero looks to just get some trade damage on Smay. Looking to push his advantage as much as possible. Knows he needs to try to get as big of a lead as he can. Be that front line for his team. Blitzcrank, I think, maybe walking up a bit too soon. Good flash from Jinx, dodging the Blitzcrank hook. He maybe bled the gank a little bit. He ran out before the jungler was there, but still, good flash from the Jinx. Avoiding the hook. Living to fight another day.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that as the primary engages on the Blitzcrank, but like you said, maybe gave it up a bit early.
Yep.
Still getting the flash. And
They're just going to
yeah,
start
looking like
dragging.
the Cloud Drake. Yeah.
Big play. Honestly, Glacial Academy really changing the tempo from game 1. Taking this time. They know their bot lane is stronger. They know that Ashe has to catch a wave, and they're just going to take Dragon. Smited by the Sejuani. The Zed not being able to do enough to steal it. A huge play. They're off to a good early start. Down a little bit in kills, but, you know, Butter Boys
Yeah,
picking
essentially-
for a really strong early game, so no surprise there.
Yeah, Jinx burning flash, but getting the Dragon in response. Just a great play right there.
Yep, absolutely. I really like to see this from the side of Glacial Academy, and we saw a bit in game 1. They seem to be really good at making cross-map plays. Whenever Butter Boys looks to execute something on one side of the map, Glacial Academy always right there to counter it somehow, whether it be a top gank, whether it be that bot lane invade or a dragon after the jungle gank. Just really looking to match punch for punch, not give up anything for free, always looking for their windows and avenues back into the game.
Exactly. Just smart League of Legends plays across the board. You know, not trying to fight where your opponent is strong, but taking it to where your opponent is not.
Yeah, absolutely. Using their tempo well. Jinx going to take a base. She's sitting on that Noon Quiver and Cloak of Agility. The Lux under some pressure from Zed as he W's forward, not looking to ult and follow up anymore, just trying to get some chunk. But Lux able to disengage and walk out safely, has potions ticking, and Lux, you know, only down 10 CS, not that bad, much better than the first game. So really like the adaptations on the side of Glacial Academy here.
Yeah, doing really well, absorbing so much damage with that W again.
Oh, and a huge
Sejuani
stun
going
ult
off
from
mid.
Sejuani, and that's just dead. Wow, what a play. Great CC layering on the side of Glacial Academy.
Yeah, there's no escaping that.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It feels like every time we start talking about something, there's a play that happens.
There's so much action in this game.
Yeah, a
right?
lot of action in game one. Beautiful Sejuani ultimate into Lux binding though. And like I said earlier, you know, in the draft, there is Sejuani a lot of kill pressure on this. You might not think Sejuani Lux is going to be the early game powerhouse 2v2, but if that Sejuani ult stands, you're not going anywhere for the next 5 minutes. So huge
Yeah,
play.
really strong jungler, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And that's going to neutralize the mid CS differential a little bit. Lux able to catch up. A lot of pressure relieved. Jinx just farming up bot lane safely.
It's looking like a
at
tight game. This is exactly what Glacial Academy wanted to see. You know, going into the first game where they got kind of manhandled. The second game, you know, you're looking like you can win all these fights if you're at least somewhat close. And this gold difference is very close, within almost 1K.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have first dragon, and you know they gave up a little bit of CS for first dragon. They were fine with that, but still looking to stack those objectives, looking to stall the game. You know, last game the Butter Boys were able to stack dragons very early, but now preventing that soul point by getting first dragon is so huge. Really good preemptive flash by the Lux and dodging everything. Beautiful play by Lux, countering that engage so well. Dodges the hook, dodges the Ash Arrow, flashes out of the Fiddlestick. Great play. I mean, Glacial Academy just playing really solid right now. The Lux binding almost landing on the Ash. The slow is going to come, and the ult over the top, flash in front of the Jinx rocket by Blitzcrank. It's every 80 carry's dream. That support play. Fiddle has to kite away. Zed on the side looking to maybe pick something up, but nothing comes of it. Wow, just really solid play all the way around.
Amazing show of teamwork right there from both teams. That's the kind of League of Legends you want to see.
Absolutely. No kills coming over, but some really solid mechanical plays on both sides to avoid what would have been certain death. And, you know, they keep making outplays on champions that I don't expect to see outplays on. Beautiful play.
Yeah, great play.
But keep in mind, no flash on the Blitzcrank, no flash on the Lux. That makes her much more susceptible to Zed all-in. As he still has both summoner spells, still has that serrated Dirk Caulfield's hammer. Lux just looking to ult for the wave clear, and she's just going to take a reset. Good play by Lux, you know, playing safely, neutralizing the Zed pick. And Zed is a champion that, you know, if he gets into the late game and he's not doing super well, has a really hard time into champions like Mundo, like Sejuani. You have the PO and disengage from the John, and you have the exhaust on that. They're picking this champion to snowball, and, you know, right now he's not snowballing, so hopefully I don't just cast a curse this whole game, but Lux doing a really good job playing safe, minimizing the value of Zed, playing defensively, wave clearing, picking up the CS safely.
Yeah, Glacial Academy with an amazing draft. You know, they have the team comp to win. They can shut down all their damage dealers. They have the shields. Janna and Lux, you know, can stop almost all the Zed damage. So,
Yeah,
you know, it's going to be a great game. It's really tight right now. I'm excited for this game.
absolutely. All right. Fiddlesticks hovering around bottom, looking to maybe get some pressure on this Jinx. Jinx seems to be playing really scared, walking back wisely, but Janna still by herself. She needs to be careful. She's just dead. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. As Janna's walking up by herself and Jinx is walking into the river to ward.
Yeah, rough timing there for Janna getting caught in the Fiddlesticks ulti, but, you know, that means the ulti is down now, so...
That is true. Less pressure on the map, but hard for them to take Dragon now.
Yeah, very true. That might be a free Drake.
Jinx ult looking to steal, not going to do too much. Needs to be a bit safe walking back into the lane with Blitzcrank hovering around and no Janna to support her. Fiddlestick seen on that ward though, walking away, should relieve some of the pressure. And now Sejuani hovering around, looking to get something back, looking to punish the flashless Blitzcrank.
Yeah, Glacial Academy looking for a response. You know, you got Herald topside, no Fiddlesticks ulti. Dragon was taken, so I'm hoping for them to go topside, but they're looking to make a play bot side here. Janna and Sejuani bot. Sejuani with the ulti. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Yep. Looks like John is trying to bait. Might be bleeding the gank a little bit too much as she just clears this pink ward. Butterboy is looking like they sent something. They're playing a little bit safe, but there's just no flash onto the Blitzcrank. Trying to dodge everything, but you can only dodge so much as the ult comes over, knocking her into the traps, and that's just a kill for the Jinx. Great play by Glacial Academy, knowing that there's no flash on the Blitzcrank and there's no real way for him to get out of it there. They were playing so safe, and now Ash is just getting dove. He can't sit under this turret. There's 3 people here, and you have a super tanky Sejuani. She's just dead. She already blew her flash early. Disrespectful play on the side of the Butter Boys AD carry, thinking he can walk up to that lane and just gets punished for it. Glacial Academy. Wow. Absolutely fantastic play. All right. I cannot hear you if you are talking, by the way, Derek. I think your mic having a bit of an issue. Bot lane outer being taken down for the side of Glacial Academy, getting the first turret, giving Jinx a huge reset as she bases and picks up a Kraken Slayer. So much power on the side of Jinx. Huge play from Sejuani, snowballing bot lane so hard with that. Looks like they're just bringing their bot lane up into the top lane, looking to keep this tempo advantage up and just take as much of the map as they can right now. Force their advantage everywhere. Really smart play on the side of Glacial Academy. Lux needs to be careful now. Blitzcrank hovering around looking for a pick. Won't amount to too much as she just kind of dodges back. Oh my goodness, I say that, but just being chased down by the Blitzcrank. Barrett coming over the top. A good flash, flashing and into the binding, and Zed dodging out, and the Deathmark kills her. Wow, huge play. Sejuani looking to maybe clean this up. Jinx rocket over the top is going to mean 1, and Sejuani picking up both kills there, punishing what was an aggressive dive on the side of Butter Boys. They looked for the Lux, thought they could pick her off, but a lot of good stalling by Lux, making them use so many abilities for what they thought was a free kill, and that's just going to be a 1 for 2 in mid turret for Glacial Academy. And now Aatrox needs to be careful, walking into 5 players by himself. Still has the flash. The tornado's going to miss. He's getting slowed. Here we go. Stun lands into the trap. He is getting CC'd forever. So much healing though on the side of him. He's just looking to sustain everything, but the John ult, you can only sustain so much, going to knock him into the wall, and that is another kill on the side of Glacial Academy. They are starting to ramp up as they take mid, walk into the top side jungle, take out the Aatrox. Ashe answering on the bot side with a turret of her own, but huge play on the side of Glacial Academy. They are just really turning it around here in game 2. Love to see this play. Dustblade now picked up for Zed. Dustblade and Mercury Treads looking to get out of some of that CC that has been so detrimental to him. Janna disengaging to Zed. Here comes the Blitzcrank looking to hook. Flash on the side of Jinx. Another good flash. Trying to hold that flash as long as he can. Flash as soon as he saw that it was going to hit. Jinx needs to play a little bit more careful now with her flash being down. Still cannot hear you, Derek. Alright, and a lull in the action while I take some water. With dragon spawning in 35 seconds. No flash on the Jinx for this fight is very pivotal, and there'll be no flash on the Zed either. Rift Herald being dropped by Aatrox in the top lane, looking to get some pressure as Dragon is coming up shortly. He has the TP to answer too, so Glacial Academy needs to be careful of this fight right here. Clearing vision in the Dragon Pit. Jinx maybe walking a little bit too far up. She has no flash. Blitzcrank looking to just run for the pull. He's taking a lot of damage in return though. Needs to be careful. Can't just tank all of this Jinx damage. Sejuani looking to peel for the AD. Engaging onto their backline. Ashe forced back. TP coming in from Aatrox. Good disengage NATO from the Janna, but the Aatrox flashing in, doing so much damage over the top. Lux just being forced to run away. Mundo now coming from base. Jinx looking to free it, and a huge rocket is going to be a double kill for the Jinx, looking to turn this fight around. Smeg and Hero just duking it out now. Aatrox versus Mundo battling each other. The top lane Giants not really doing that much damage to each other at all. It is a Mundo, and Jinx, Lux coming in from the side, finishing that kill off. The Fiddlesticks ultimate over the top is going to take down the Lux, flashing away. Here comes the rocket, and that is another shutdown for Jinx. Huge play, everything going Glacial right now. This Jinx is ramping up. So scary if you are Butter Boys right now. Jinx playing these team fights absolutely phenomenally, playing on the edge of range, abusing her long range advantage into the side of Butter Boys, dodging abilities, cleaning up kills, huge ultimate over the top. Beautifully played. You know, that fight starting out as a 4v5 for Butter Boys with no TP on the Mundo. He just walks from base. Really great stalling from the Janna, from the Sejuani, from the Lux, keeping their Jinx alive and letting her absolutely free hit Lil Fel Fei, making a name for herself in week 1. And Dragon also, and all of that going over to the side of Glacial Academy. They're on 2 dragons now. This is just huge. Glacial Academy really coming out, playing this game 2 solid, have a 1k gold lead now. Runa's Hurricane completed for the Jinx. She is ramping up. Lux has her Luden's Tempest and Pen Boots and a Dark Seal, so something to keep track of. If she keeps racking up those assists in teamfights, she is going to become very, very scary.
Check, mic check.
Yep, I can hear you.
Hey, we got it fixed.
Welcome back.
Yeah, you were hyping me up, Joel. Like, amazing casting there. That was amazing.
Thank you, thank you. Good to have you back. All right.
We're back.
So, wow, what a different game what we are watching here than in game 1, huh?
Yeah, Glacial Academy pulling it together, getting the gold finally to go on their side. It's looking like a good game right now.
Absolutely. And 2 dragons too. Really nice to be able to stall this game out, help them scale even more into the late game. And it is Ocean Soul. Very scary dragon if you have someone like Mundo, if you have someone like Sejuani. That sustain is huge. Aatrox looking for the Lux, but Smay is right here to protect his mid laner. Zed ulting onto the Lux, looking to kill him, but he's going to get trapped up. Can they return a kill back? Sejuani looking to trade it back, but Jinx is just going to get left defenseless by herself. They finally killed the Zed, but Hero is going to clean up Smay in the process and the Jinx. Big shutdown for Hero, and they're going to be forced. Huge Blitzcrank hook pulling back into Janna, and this is going to be a fight white, it looks like, for the side of Butter Boys as they chase down the very tanky Sejuani, but he can only survive for so long. Huge play from Butter Boys. They might take this right into a Baron.
Damn, team-wide ace by the Butter Boys. Aatrox starting that fight from the top side, walking into Mundo, and then all of a sudden, both teams were in the river, skirmishing it out halfway across the map. What a fight.
Yep, huge play. Butter Boys showing that they still have some fight left in the Jinx rocket coming over the top. It's a little bit too early. And it looks like this will be a Baron for the side of Butter Boys. This
Aatrox
game,
putting in work.
yeah, the Aatrox really was just huge there. Phenomenal play by the Aatrox, soaking up so much damage, getting right onto the Jinx backline. And in these future fights, they need to be really careful about leaving that Jinx alone. They kind of just left her to her own devices. She can only sustain for so long. So I want to see that Janna be sticking with her a little bit more, trying to peel for her, let her pump out that damage. She's at 2 items, really, really strong.
Yeah, exactly. Lux and Jinx, both 2 squishy champions, but Janna can't protect them both. It's a tough job.
Yep, absolutely. All right, low in the game as they just look to farm up their camps and prepare for the onslaught of the Baroned up Butter Boys. Janna looking to get down what defensive vision she can. She's going to get hooked by the Blitzcrank. She doesn't have a lot of follow-up there.
Yeah, luckily Lux was in the river there to offer some assistance, and the knockup didn't go through. Looking to press with the Baron buff. It's a tight game. Fighting over vision.
Janna
Zed going
getting
in, Janna ulti going out. And going down with the Jinx.
Huge Janna, and if you look up in the right-hand corner, we'll see the Baron power play for the side of Butter Boys. Already up to 1100 gold now with about a minute 40 on it. Janna being a little bit too, what's the word I'm looking for? Just not respecting the Blitzcrank hook enough. She walks in and just dies. Needs to be a bit more careful where she's warding. Play a little bit more defensively. Dragon in 30.
Yeah, you see that gold differential swing back into the Butter Boys' favor. It was tight, but now it's not looking so tight. All of a sudden, we almost got a 5k gold difference.
Yeah, 5k gold difference, but like to see how this game is being neutralized despite what happened in the first game. A lot of this gold is onto the Jinx too, which you really like to see.
Yeah, the trap is set. Dragon
huge
up
power
in a
pick.
minute.
Glacial Academy and Janna is just face checking. Needs to be really careful. Blitzcrank just not opting to hook to Janna. A bit confused there. Might have just been a free kill, but they live to fight another day and push this mid wave in. So honestly, a really solid play on the side of Glacial Academy, neutralizing this Baron a lot. They can, you know, they can be okay with giving a dragon. I think they already have two themselves. Blitzcrank needs to be a bit careful, kind of by himself. Lux getting pulled in, flashes out, uses the barrier. Aatrox onto the Janna. Jinx still free hitting. They need to watch this. Jinx, she's just going to absolutely destroy the Aatrox. Huge shut down the pocket of Jinx now as she gets excited and looks to just wipe this fight. Zed looking to throw down a W, isn't going to amount to much. Fiddlesticks falling as he ults into the whole team by himself. Ash flashing, but there's nowhere to flash to. That's the red team side. Ash getting killed, and now the dragon goes to the side of Glacial Academy. This game is just turning left and right. Butter Boys are the ones setting the death bush, and they just get absolutely wiped. Jinx still able to free hit, and you see what happens when Jinx gets the peel when she's able to free hit. It is huge for
Glacial Academy. Jinx getting excited. You know, they were staying grouped, whereas Butter Boys had a bit disjointed of a fight coming from 2 different angles, getting a bit caught out, and Glacial Academy getting in favor. Blitzcrank getting low. Jinx
and it's
eating
just
the
another
Jinx
kill.
rocket.
This
Yeah,
Jinx
continuing the
is
steamroll.
absolutely on one this game. He heard what his top laner said. He said, "You don't think I can do enough damage? Watch game 2. I'm gonna do more than enough damage."
Yeah, we're all rooting for Glacial Academy here. They're pulling it out so far, 17 to 15. You know, look at the gold again. It's almost tied. What a game back and forth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think next play is for the side of Glacial Academy if you're in their shoes right now?
You know, keep doing the same things. They got third dragon. They got a strong Jinx. They're playing well as a team. They got the stronger team comp if you're grouped.
Yep.
It's not looking too good right now for Butter Boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Love these adaptations. And we really get to see the strength of Glacial Academy team fighting. You know, we mentioned it in the first game. You talked a lot about it. Their team fighting is really solid, and they're able to team fight now, but they're able to team fight from even gold and not like a 15,000 gold deficit. And when that happens, it's just a totally different game.
It's a big difference, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Chemtech Putrefier on the side of Janna, really solid. It's going to help neutralize that healing of the Aatrox and the Fiddlesticks. Big item right there. Jinx, 3 items, has a GA. Just looking to free hit. This is scary if you are Butter Boys. But, you know, they're not giving up. They're still looking to pressure, still looking to push this mid lane. Find picks where they can. Utilize the blitz hook. Huge.
Yeah, fighting for vision over the jungle. The most important part of the game, arguably. Keeping it safe for their carries, trying to keep that Jinx alive.
And Janna is just picked by herself, walking too far up again. Needs to be more careful. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. Can't be face checking into Blitzcrank. Needs to be respectful of that hook.
Yeah, and it's not just Blitzcrank. It's Fiddlesticks over, it's Zed
True.
over, it's Ashy Arrow, it's Aatrox, it's the whole team.
True,
jumping
it's
over the wall at you.
it's everyone, and that is something we talked about too in the draft. You know, 5v5 Glacial Academy, probably a better comp, but in terms of pick, there's so many options for Butter Boys, so many tools to catch someone out by themselves. Need to respect that. Lux is sitting on a ward, looking to pick the Ash, and Jinx is absolutely one shot. Jinx though, flash on, good flash to try to escape, is getting run down by the Blitzcrank, kiting for her life, and Jinx is still alive. This is insane. Aatrox flashing forward, the GA is gonna get popped. He still has GA. Sejuani peeling as best he can into Jinx. W comes down, barely out of range. Sejuani finishes him off, and Blitzcrank and Fiddlesticks forced to run for their lives, just disrespecting how much peel Glacial Academy has. This Jinx is so strong right now, and they are just flashing and just don't have the damage. Great play by Jinx, kiting back, flashing away, giving herself some space to kite, and now Glacial Academy's turn to start up the Baron as they kill the jungler, kill the AD, oh excuse me, kill the top laner, kill the AD. Jungler still up, so maybe Butter Boys look for a Baron steal. Blitzcrank is on a ward. Huge play by the Lux too. Standing on a ward. I thought she was certainly dead. Ash walks up, gets hit by everything, just absolutely blown up, and she's able to flash out defensively, uses the barrier. Huge play on the side of Lux, starting that fight off with a great pick. We said that Butter Boys had the pick comp, but again, Lux saying, well, I can do that too.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw just how frustrating it is walking into Janna and Sejuani. There's almost nothing you can do there to get the Jinx, but Aatrox had capitalized and popped the GA, so look for him to capitalize on that.
Absolutely huge. GA down though, yep, good point. GA and Flash down on the side of Jinx. A lot of that defensive value is now gone. She needs to play a bit more safe until those things are back up. Hourglass completed on Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, she did blow her Gale Force early there, I think, and went back in a bit too early.
Yep, for sure. I do really like the Gale Force adaptation. I think she went Kraken Slayer last game. I like that she opted for Gale Force, giving her a little bit more mobility, a little bit more room to kite. I think is a really smart move from her.
Yeah,
good
to be honest,
adaptation over.
I think it's almost necessary on Jinx. You get targeted like crazy, so.
For sure. Yep, for sure. Definitely like seeing that. So posturing for position for Dragon. This is a Dragon Soul on the side of Glacial Academy. Butterboy's looking to stop that. Ocean Soul, huge value if you are Glacial Academy.
Yeah, this is a game-defining fight right here. This is Soul. They have Baron buff. They're looking to make a pick early.
Yep. They're standing on
about
where
to see a
Janna needs
huge
to be
team
careful. Janna's going to be ulted on by the Fiddlestick. She dies almost instantly, but that is the Fiddlesticks just wasted on the support Janna, and no one is touching the Jinx at all. Zed looking to dive the backline, ulting. Sejuani picks up a kill in return. Jinx still free hitting, he's still alive. Zed finally fashing forward to finish it off, but he is going to go down in return. Here we go. The Sejuani is just 1v5ing the whole team. Lux looking to do what she can as well. Mundo flashing out of the Aatrox, and that is huge. Dodging all of the Aatrox Qs. So much healing on the side of Aatrox, but you can only heal for so long. Looking to go back forward. Lux trying to dodge out. You're gonna Zhonya's the pull, and Mundo not doing a lot of damage, but he's doing his best. This is quite a slow fight.
Yeah, Aatrox
And Lux,
being the raid boss that they're
here we go. Aatrox staying alive. Wow, huge play on the side. And again, this is a game where Glacial Academy losing the Jinx pretty early on the fight, and it doesn't even matter. Lux is able to survive the whole fight. Mundo there to take it up. I'm pretty sure that Sejuani actually 1v3 the entire Butter Boys backline and killed the Ashe. Insane play. Everyone on the side of Glacial Academy showing up for game 2. The Mundo unkillable. Lux great Zhonya's flashing out of the Aatrox cube. Wow, I'm speechless. Great play. Glacial Academy.
Yeah, you said it. Both teams fighting it out for the Dragon Soul. They're going over to Glacial Academy here. Well fought by them. You know, looking for the redemption from game 1. That was a bit of a beatdown, and now they're looking for payback.
Absolutely. And if you look at this Lux 21 stacks on the Magi's, completed Ludens, has a needlessly large rod. She is a very scary champion right now.
Yeah, she's able to one-shot anyone on Butterboy's team, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And that was a team fight where Jinx had no flash, had no GA. Still able to survive long enough to pump out a lot of damage, forcing the Zed to flash onto her to try to stop her from just absolutely free hitting in the team fight. And even still able to pump out a lot of damage and be a huge, huge contribution.
All right, so Soul going over to Glacial Academy. And what's next on the menu for them?
Soul on the point. Yeah, I say just stall out for Baron. Play it slow. Don't walk into all this pick. And I say that and they just one-shot Ashe. So never mind. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Absolutely just run them over. This is insane. The Sejuani all getting so much value, knowing that Ashe has no flash and just runs at her. And you know what? You have an R that can pick people. I do too. So playing Ashe's own game and beating her at it, huge play from Sejuani right there. So look to push down mid lane. You don't want to hook Sejuani Blitzcrank. He doesn't really take a lot of damage. He's just going to run under the turret. Fiddle ulti in response. Jinx over the top. They need to kite back. Huge Janna ult looking to disengage. Sejuani looking to just hit the Fiddlesticks with the Mundo. They're going to trade him back and they pull a Mundo again. Mundo doesn't take a lot of damage. Also over the top from Lux, looking to throw down E. Jinx on the back line, killing the Zed, and now Butter Boys forced to full retreat, but they can't retreat fast enough. Jinx is excited, looking to just free hit, and Glacial Academy looking to maybe close out game 2 here in convincing fashion. They take the mid inhibitor, they're onto the base, they still have 4 up and 2. Aatrox recalling onto the side, hitting this turret. Aatrox has to do something, but The Lux, oh, a bit of a zoning ult looks like over the top. Maybe a flash predict or something. It doesn't matter. They have Sejuani, they have Mundo. Huge damage, huge front line. Lux free hitting, Jinx free hitting, and Mundo and Sejuani tanking up everything imaginable. Glacial Academy taking game 2. Wow. Yeah, what do you have to say about that, Derek? That was
Amazing game from the draft, from the bans. Everything like came together for Glacial Academy there. I mean, they looked flawless. They executed.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the adaptations from draft through minute 1 of the game. You know, the invade top worked a little bit for the side of Butter Boys, but at the same time, Glacial Academy immediately had a response in that bot lane. You know, they knew they needed to play through bot, blew the Ashe Flash, got the kill, and played safely in the early game, didn't give up any needless deaths, and when they hit their item spikes in the team fights, the Jinx just absolutely popped off. Huge game on the side of the Jinx AD carry for the side of Glacial Academy, but I would say everyone played phenomenally. You know, the Lux playing safely in lane where she needed to, having some really huge ults, key bindings. There was that play when she flashed and dodged pretty much every ability that Butter Boys had in the river. The Sejuani tanking up so much damage along with the Mundo and Janna. Again, you know, we said from the draft, a lot of pressure on Janna that game to be able to peel for her Jinx, and I think she did a phenomenal job soaking up, you know, engage, using that ult so well. Those tornadoes, the shields, phenomenal play.
Yeah, amazing job. It was really a team effort peeling. They have so much CC together. The Sejuani, the Lux, helping the Jinx out. Really well played. Like, they looked untouchable this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will have a interview with the mid laner for Glacial Academy, Lemon, piling that Lux 2 games in a row. Are you there with us, Lemon?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hey. So, Lemon, back onto that Lux for game 2. Looked a lot different than game 1. How do you feel? How are you guys after what was a huge game 2 comeback?
I feel great. This is my first time playing like with any of them, and I think we're doing great. You know, Butterboy's been playing with each other for only a year, and we just, you know, we have like better synergy.
Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of really good chemistry in your team fighting, something Derek and I mentioned from game 1. You guys were team fighting really well in game 1. You were down a lot of gold, so it was hard, but game 2, when you guys were even, you could really see that team fight synergy coming through, and just great adaptations on your side. So you know, it seems like you made some draft adaptations going into game 2 from game 1. How do you feel going into game 3? Do you like the strategy, change some things up a bit? How do you feel going into game 3?
I think that, you know, if we're behind, like how last game they got first blood,
Sure.
you know, we just like, you know, don't give up hope and keep playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a great strategy. You know, fight it out to the end, and good things will happen. And you can see that. I think a lot of teams will be defeated after a tough game 1 loss, but you guys didn't give up hope at all, kept pushing through.
So can you give us a bit of an insight? We see your team fights are awesome. What's the dynamic like on your team? Is there one person making calls? Is it a bunch of you guys all contributing? What's the style like?
I think everybody's like making calls. Like if we see somebody in the jungle, we usually say like where everybody is and stuff. And you know, I think that's about it. Yeah. Everybody's like kind of even.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's good that having everyone, you know, contribute information is always valuable. But huge plays, you know, how do you feel going into game 3? Game 1 you had to play against the Yasuo. Game 2 you had to play against the Zed. Not a lot of fun if you're playing Lux. How do you feel going into this game 3 mid lane matchup? You definitely really performed well on game 2. Limited a lot of the Zed's pressure. But how do you feel going into this player who seems to have a lot of aggressive assassin picks?
I have no idea. I don't know if like there's a delay on this, and like if they always ban. I'm a one trick, so they're banning Anivia, and then I'm like, oh, this sucks. So I just have to play Lux with like 20 assists, but it's okay because I'm having fun.
There you go.
And yeah, I think I'll be okay.
I think so too. And you had that time when you just completely one-shot the Ashe, so the Lux definitely providing huge value for you guys. But thank you for your time, and definitely exciting game 2. Wishing you the best of luck on game 3. Look forward to seeing what you have to pick out.
Yeah, it's been fun. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Good luck on game 3.
Yeah, the Swag Life series, all about fun here. We saw lots of adaptations. I mean, we saw that first game. It was really rough. Really impressed with the second game's draft and picks. Now I'm even more excited for the third game. It could go in any direction. Both teams now have a lot of information to work with. Yeah, I'm looking for a better draft by Butter Boys because I was kind of disappointed with their drafts from last season. I think they got a bit too overconfident, or they were kind of, I don't know what their plan was there, but they didn't really have much of a team fight. So I'm looking for a much better draft now by Butter Boys.
I agree, and I think Game 3 is really where the series starts, right? We've both gotten to see kind of what each team looks like when they get their optimal drafts, more or less. And so I think you hit it right in the head. They first pick Blitzcrank or Fiddlesticks, excuse me, and then pick a bunch of champions that really don't help the Fiddlesticks team fight at all. So I think they need to, hopefully they learn the lesson that Glacial Academy is not a pushover team at all. If you let them get to the mid-late game, they're going to team fight really well. They're going to pressure you, they're going to skirmish with you just as good as anyone else. So you can't just try to pick all of these champions assuming you're going to win every single lane and end the game in 15 minutes.
Yeah, both teams very capable of closing out a game. It's going to be a hard-fought third game. It's going to be intense, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I would like to see a better bot lane, honestly. I think the Ashe Blitzcrank was super underwhelming. Didn't really provide the value that they got from the Thresh and Lelouch in the first game, and then they didn't have a jungler to follow up with that bot lane aggression that it seems like they really want to prioritize. So hopefully they go back to something more like that, where they can actually force the plays that they were able to in Game 1. We'll see.
Yeah, you said it best. I'm excited for this next game. Hopefully we get into Champ Select soon so we can actually see what's going on in the heads of the players. What's your prediction for this next one? What do you think is going to happen?
I'm sticking with my boys of Glacial Academy. They have all my confidence at this point. Just such a well-rounded game. I think, everyone, like we said before, everyone played well. Everyone knew what their job was, what their role in the team was, and I think everyone fulfilled it really well. And even hearing from Lemon, she knew her job was just to play defensively, be that utility Lux, keep her Jinx alive. And I think that's really valuable to have on a team. A bunch of players who know that, they don't always have to be the carry. They don't always have to be the one person 1v5ing a game. They can just be the guy sitting back, landing big Lux binds, shielding people, playing defensively, filling the role that they need. You have the Johnny tanking up so much damage, the Mundo doing the same, and just a really well-rounded team, it seems like, on the side of Glacial Academy. So they have my vote. I'm a Glacial believer at this point. They won me over.
Exactly. I'm hoping that Butter Boys, cleans up their picks, maybe gets rid of some of those champions that don't excel in the 5v5 team fights, because we've seen Glacial Academy, really solid in the 5v5s, and they're not afraid to group up. They're not afraid to just push down mid and group up for all the dragons. So, I think if you get rid of the Blitzcrank and you get rid of the Zed, all of a sudden the game's looking a lot better for Butter Boys, and it's a lot more winnable. But those two champions, kind of make it so you got to play macro, got to play split, and go for these thin win conditions.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely agree with that. And it seems like they need to kind of pick a lane and stay in it. At Game 1, I think their draft was much more cohesive. It kind of worked together a lot better, whereas Game 2 kind of had some pick. They kind of had a Fiddlesticks. They kind of had an Aatrox. And those things don't really synergize that well, especially once you get to a late game. So hopefully they have some more draft adaptations. They're back onto the red side, which is the game that they won. So maybe they feel more comfortable drafting on to as red side. I know sometimes drafting as blue can be a little bit difficult if you don't have a very clear first pick power pick that you really like to pick. And given that they, first picked Fiddlesticks, it doesn't necessarily seem like they have something that they 100% want, especially with the Thresh being banned. So with that being said, really, smart adaptation by Glacial Academy to identify the fact that Thresh is a really key component to Glacial Academy, or excuse me, Butter Boys drafting, right? They really like that Thresh. They really like that bot lane priority. Taking that out neutralizes a lot of that.
Yeah, Thresh is so impactful in that competitive scene. So much utility, so much CC. Everything you want in the support really gets you out of those sticky situations.
Absolutely, a great laner. We're back into draft though. Glacial Academy drafting from blue side this game. Butter Boys onto the red side.
Well, it's 1-1 going into Game 3. It's all come down to this moment.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be trying to get into each other's heads.
Yeah.
The Anivia one-trick band's banned. The Thresh is banned, just like the last game.
Yep.
Nothing surprising here.
Yep, nothing surprising. I assume that both teams will do similar bans. I think after game 1, the bans have been good from both sides, so hopefully they go somewhat similarly. I really like the adaptation to Janna over the Nami too. I think Nami is a very susceptible champion to hooks like Blitzcrank or Nautilus. So really like to see a little bit more of a defensive support pick there.
Yeah, especially when you pick an AD carry with no escape. Nami kind of, you really feel it with Nami, where like you don't want a front line, but you also can't let your AD carry front line, and you're both just putting yourself in danger.
Yeah, and if you miss a bubble, it's just all over. They're gonna go back to the Lux first pick. They really like what it's done, and it handled the Zed quite well that game. So I think they're confident with the they're confident that if they get rid of the Yasuo, then the Lux is fine. I'm gonna have my Poro friend here.
The Professor play of the day.
This is a Poro. I don't know if he's gonna stay up. He'll go down to the floor for now. We'll bring him back later. Fizz, wow. What do you think of the Fizz pick?
Amazing pick into Lux.
Yeah.
What an absolute nightmare that lane could be. If it's a good Fizz player, that can quickly get out of hand. I'm excited to see some epic Fizz plays.
Yep, and they're gonna take away the Jinx from Glacial Academy. They saw the value of the Jinx pick and said, you're not getting that for a third game. I think finally respecting that. I will say the Lux first pick is a little bit iffy for me when you know that Jinx is open. I don't know if they were expecting that they would just take Jinx away, but they're gonna go to the Ashe from game 1, looking to answer the Jinx with the Ashe. A lot of good CC lockdown on the side of Glacial Academy. You have the Ashe arrow into a Lux binding, into a Lux ult. So again, an immobile AD carry like Jinx can still get one shot with that chain CC.
Yeah, it really comes down to the support and whether or not she builds Gale Force.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, we talked to Protega, the support for Butter Boys, and he said he's mostly kind of engaged. He's mostly, excuse me, I wasn't sure if there was going to be a dodge. Janna getting picked up, but he said he's mostly kind of a engaged type hook champion player. So, oh, and he actually goes for the Morgana. So I really like this pick. Really solid adaptation. You know, changing up his play style, looking to help keep that Jinx alive, and the Morgana providing huge value.
Morgana also kind of a hook champion, a pick champion, but provides a bit more utility in its own way.
I won't be denied.
With the spell shield and appeal.
Yep, absolutely. So, like what Butter Boys are doing here, showing that they can also adapt their draft, play a little bit of a different style. This is definitely different from game 1 and a much more cohesive draft so far from game 2. So a big fan of what the Butter Boys are doing, showing some flexibility. And they say, we're never dealing with Sejuani again. That was the worst thing we've ever had to experience. Banning it out, second rotation, like that ban for sure.
Yeah, Sejuani's on my list of junglers to master, that's for sure. She's an amazing, like, she fits into any team.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't want a tanky engage?
Tanky
CC
engage, yeah.
champion?
Absolutely. And you saw when you have a damage champion like the Jinx, how strong that Sejuani pick becomes. It's such a front line, able to tank the Blitzcrank hooks. You know, he got hooked 3 times under turret and probably took 300 damage total from it all. So Zach and Aatrox being banned on the side of Glacial Academy, Sejuani and Malphite. Still don't like that Malphite pick from game 1. I'm just going to keep it banned out going into game 3.
Yeah, interesting. All the tanky engages banned on both sides. Not much left now, but we got to see some on these team comps.
Yeah, so this is interesting. It really forces people to go deep into their champion pools, right? A lot of these champions being banned out. The Hecarim pick here, huge for the side of Butter Boys. I think Hecarim with a Morgana spell shield over the top becomes really difficult to deal with. Helps stop that Janna disengage and really just lets the Hecarim run down. Another immobile AD carry in Ashe.
Yeah, opens up a lot of space for the Fizz to get in there and wreak havoc. It's going to be a spicy game.
It is, absolutely. So how does Glacial Academy round out this draft? It's a Volibear, like the Volibear pick here.
Really good pick.
And
Is that a Volibear top? Yeah.
I assume it's a Volibear top, and I'm going to guess it's going to be a Nunu here. I would be surprised if it's a Master E, but it could be a Master E.
It could be. There's not too much CC to go out on Butter Boys, so...
Vi.
Yeah.
Vi into the Morgana spell shield is very bold. But, you know, you can only spell shield so many targets. So maybe he's hoping that if he gets that spell shield down with the Ash Arrow, with the Volibear engaged, you know, the spell shield will eventually get broken and there'll be value there. Now, what will they pick last to round out the draft for the side of Butter Boys? 5 left on the clock. Gnar. All
Solid
right.
pick.
Solid
bit
pick.
of engage. Yeah, bit of engage, bit of utility. Bit of poke.
Yep. What
Looks
do you
like
think?
solid teams from both sides.
Yeah.
Good question. I'm liking Glacial Academy's draft, to be honest. They got the disengage, they got the counter engage. They're gonna
Yeah.
have to outplay the Fizz. But to be honest, Fizz doesn't do too well against Volibear and Vi,
Yeah.
so we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah, I think I would like a different pick in the mid lane. I would have liked to see maybe some more versatility in their mid laner. Maybe playing a ranged champion. I think a ranged mid laner, a ranged mage would have been really, really valuable for this comp. Maybe something like a Orianna, Syndra, anything that gives them a bit of a range advantage to play with the Jinx. I think it makes it really, really difficult for the Ashe and even the Lux and the Vi to play the game. But, you know, Fizz, again, he likes to play with these for these aggressive mid laners, likes to get in your face, try to snowball the game. With that being said, though, I do really like the Gnar and Hecarim and the Morgana adaptation on the side of Butter Boys. I think, again, you know, identified what their comp was last game and how it was weak and changed a lot of the things that were just making it weak. So a much more cohesive draft from Butter Boys going into game 3. Let's see, you know, how to adjust to that.
Yeah, the Butter Boys are facing a powerhouse of a team, and they got a lot of tools for outplays, but they're gonna have to execute almost flawlessly. Like, they don't have too much to work with going against Volibear and Vi. If you mess
Yeah.
up one Fizzy or something like that,
Yeah,
it's pretty rough for you.
You are a very, very sad fish. Absolutely. Maybe would have liked to see the Jinx first pick over the Lux. Unless they were scared of a Caitlyn Lux bot lane coming out. Doesn't really seem like Lux is a champion that anyone on Butter Boys would play, but they opt to ensure that Lemon is able to play that champion again. As she said, she is an Anivia one trick, and Anivia was banned, so they maybe were scared about her second pick just being taken away.
Yeah, showing that it is her comfort backup. Definitely important to get your mid laner on a comfortable champion, that's for sure.
Yep, absolutely. And again, game 3 poll is up as always. Make sure you give your predictions there. Derek, what are your predictions for game 3?
I honestly think Glacial Academy is going to come out with it. You know, Volibear is one of the strongest champions. Vi is a really solid jungler. They don't really have to outplay too much. They just have to play solid strat and play safe. Essentially, it's all on Butter Boys for the big engage.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
And yeah, it's gonna be a tough win for Butter Boys if they come out with this one. It's probably going to be the Fizz getting out of control.
Yep, that is true. If the Fizz snowballs, it becomes really hard for Ashe to play the game, and then Fizz with the Morgana spell shield becomes even more difficult for Ashe to play the game. A lot of the disengage from Janna is negated, and a lot of the value from Lux or any of the pick that Glacial Academy have is negated. On the side of Glacial Academy, you know, their comp can still be a bit complicated to execute. They definitely don't have the late game insurance of like a Jinx pick as they did last game, and they're much more reliant on being able to get those picks and start the fights out at a disadvantage because, you know, they Ash arrowed someone and one-shot them. So really, really look for Glacial Academy to be playing around good vision control, making sure that they're getting pinks down, denying vision, getting deep wards in, making sure that they are the first ones to the play, operating on good information, and getting these picks leading up to objectives like Dragon or Baron or whatever they opt to play for.
Yeah, I will say it is a very good draft by both teams, both learning from the first 2 drafts. I'm sure lots of lessons talked about in the post games.
Yep.
This is going to be a banger of a game 3. I
Absolutely.
can tell both teams fighting for it. Both teams, you know, bid on the line on the main stage here, day 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exciting,
And
it's exciting.
I will say, you know, what is the mental cost that Butter Boys, you know, take from that game 2 loss, right? Because you're a team that's been playing together for 8 years or whatever, for a while. You're playing against a team that just got a new mid laner yesterday. you ran them over in 22 minutes in the first game, and then you get a pretty convincing loss in game 2. You know, that definitely messes with your head a little bit, I think, going into game 3. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they recover from that, how they kind of settle down, relax, you know, calm themselves down and reset their game plan looking to go into game 3.
Exactly. Hopefully with their friendship relationships, they can talk it out and know that maybe their draft wasn't a bit good or something like that. They can talk themselves back up.
That's true, for sure. Again, a Morgana pick, so not a Blitzcrank, not a Thresh, but Morgana Bind level 1, still a really, really solid invade tool. Would not be surprised if they look to go with their same game plan and just opt for that level 1 invade. How Glacial Academy will adapt to that will be interesting to see. You know, they made that cross map invade play on the last game, so hopefully, you know, they're a little bit more respectful of that level 1 invade. Hopefully they don't face check the top side like they did before, and you know, they're more on their toes about that. It's been 2 games so far, they've invaded both times, so they should be expecting it. They've invaded successfully both times, so important to see how they adapt to this game 3. And this, you know, this is why I love 3-game series, right? You get to see so many things happen within the game from the previous ones. You get to actually understand your opponent more instead of just playing one game where there's so much unknown. You know, you've never played them before, you don't know what their styles are, you don't know what they play for level 1. And League is such a kind of volatile game that one bad invade happens that you don't see coming, and the game's kind of doomed because of it. So with this 3 games, you get to adjust, you get to adapt, you get to get a feel for the other team.
Exactly. You get to see those habits and patterns emerge, start some counter plays of your own, and it just becomes so much more interesting when you all of a sudden, you know, can counter someone's play style, and you don't know if it's just a single game, whether or not that's a mistake or an accident or what.
Right, absolutely. Hopefully we are on to the Rifts soon. I think we're possibly are still in Champ Select. Not.
Yeah, so thanks everyone joining us for the day 2 SLS. We're getting into it. Game 3, Glacial Academy. Can they pull off the comeback?
The reverse sweep.
The
And this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
This is what we wanted. 3 games of League of
Predictions
Legends.
are out. The fans are in it together, rooting for the underdogs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and it looks like a little bit more of a defensive level 1. It looks like Gnar in the top lane is scout, but they're still stacking on the bot lane. Good ward from Kha'Zix's E-Girl, looking to stop that invade route, and it looks like she reads it perfectly as Morgana and the rest of the team stacking in that bush, waiting for someone to face check. No one will, though.
Yeah, both teams stacking on the bottom side. Bit more respect for each other. I think both teams having suffered a loss and a win. So a bit more care now. It's interesting when teams start to respect their opponents. The games go a lot slower.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's going to happen.
Absolutely. And, you know, is that something that is eventually going to come back and hurt Butter Boys? Because they're a team that said they want to play aggressive early, right? They want to force their leads early and snowball the game. But now that they seem to be playing a bit more respectfully, will that slow down their tempo too much? And will they kind of give up what their strong suits are? You know, that early game pressure, snowballing through the lanes, and good jungle pressure.
Yeah, and you never know what comfort picks were banned, and all of a sudden you get a lot less confident going into lane. Hopefully Lux makes it there for the minions. She looks okay.
Yeah. Maybe doing some kind of fake leash strategy, not sure. But either way, she's here in time for the minions. The binding's going to land level 1. A really good trade by Lux. I think surprised the Fizz a little bit by starting the binding. I don't think he was expecting it, but he did not respect Lux's early game damage and just walked up to the wave looking to hit the minions. Gets chunked a little bit hard for that.
Yeah, great start by the Lux there.
Absolutely needs to be careful. She's just looking to farm up now. Wow, beat him to 2 on the bot side. Much more neutral. Both bot lanes contesting for wave 2. Want to hit 2 first. Look to get that pressure. Janna has the stacking item.
This is much more even of a matchup, but the bot side, Glacial Academy getting level 2, going in, forcing the level 2 fight. Ashy popping off 4 shots. Good trade here.
Yep, big trade by Lil Felfei. Fortunate that his W missed there, but still, good trade. uses his potion, looking to heal back up. In top lane, an interesting matchup. Gnar into Volibear. Two still juggernaut top laners, tanky champions, looking
Yeah,
to
I
be
don't
that front line for their team.
I don't think that's too bad of a matchup for Gnar.
Yeah,
All else being equal.
yeah. The range advantage is definitely nice for the Gnar, and the W passive is good as well. So, oh my goodness,
Gnar
looking
going
like
in
a
on the top lane. Big
all
skirmish.
in big skirmish, but a lot of damage coming from the Volibear. Gnar cannot be doing that. He throws the Q into the minions, and huge trade for the Gnar. And here comes the Vi, looking to flash Q from the Vi, but Gnar able to flash out. Big play by Kha'Zix Eagle though. Starting off with some strong early game tempo on the top.
Yeah, Volibear, one of the strongest champions in the game. Almost impossible to trade equal with him if he lands his skills.
Yep, absolutely. Looks like Gnar baiting for his jungler. Smade though says, I'm not falling for that. There's no way you're just recalling right there without someone in your back pocket. Looks to just last hit, keep his advantage, not throwing it away. And this is a very sad state for the Gnar to be in. Down a flash, 25% HP. Doesn't want to blow TP early, but going down in CS, going down a level. Mid lane, big CS advantage here for the Lux into the Fizz. Ashe coming down, looking to scout topside jungle. Seeing that Hecarim's camps are all down, should be able to know that he's on the bot side, looking for something. As the wave is pushing away.
Almost 5 minutes. Almost 5 minutes with no kill. A bit of a jungle fight, I think, emerging for Skull here. Vi and the Hecarim fighting it out. And Fizz going in on the Lux in the mid lane. That's lots of pressure.
Yep. Fizz able to dodge the Lux Q, but still, Lux a level up, and those auto return damage is quite significant. A huge wave that Lux is just trying to get under, so she can take a base. Looking to maybe pressure the Fizz a little bit. Just making
What
sure
a difference. What a difference this game has been already. 5 minutes, no kills. Gold differential is exactly the same. If I was Glacial Academy, I'd be pretty happy right now.
Oh, big play by the Lux. Good binding landing. Able to disengage and then flash away. I think she greedied a little bit, overstaying here. No need to really stay on this wave. She just wants to take a recall. Needs to be careful about walking up here with no summoner spells, but I think she's going to try to barrier bait. Going in is the Lux, or Fizz, excuse me. Lux still going down for her blood. Fizz flashing out of the Vi Q.
Oh, what an escape
really
by
solid
Fizz.
play.
Flexing the mastery.
Yep.
Playing perfectly there, reading it like a book.
Great play by the Fizz there, punishing, I think, a little bit of the overconfidence on the side of Lux. Popped the barrier a little bit too early, didn't block the damage, and the binding just getting dodged out. But
Yeah,
still,
great patience by the Fizz, securing the kill right at the last second and flashing out.
yep,
Amazing
huge play. Great mechanical play on the side of Fizz. Starting to get that snowball rolling in the mid lane and punishing the Lux's overstay.
And now all of a sudden, Butterboy's 1,000 gold up. Fizz looking strong. We talked about that could be an annoying thing for Glacial Academy.
Yep, absolutely. And now Lux with no flash needs to be really careful, as Fizz is about, it has hit level 6, and now you have these Hecarim ganks. So much CC, and Lux completely immobile to any of that. Kha'Zix
Yeah,
Eagle
2v2.
having a lot of early game ganks, coming really close but still not able to net any kills. A bit of a frustrating early game for her, as Hecarim is up a fair amount of CS as a result of it, and he's barely even shown up to any lane. So that's a bit of a sad day if you're the Vi, as the Hecarim really looking to abuse his tempo, up a level on Kha'Zix Eagle. And this top play most likely will not work out. She's standing on a ward. She doesn't know Hecarim coming around from Krugs, looking to counter this gank. Flash in from Volibear, trying to abuse the no flash from Gnar, but Gnar just ults him away. Turning back onto the side of the Hecarim, and they just kind of pass each other.
Nice escape there by Vi. That was a bit of a surprise, I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blowing flash to engage, and both junglers are there.
Yep. Trying to abuse the flash cooldown on the side of Gnar. Good ulti from the Gnar to disengage. And then he just ults out. Good escape from the Volibear. Making sure Hecarim isn't able to push anything out. And
Trades going out in the
bot
bot
lane
lane.
needs
Janna
to be
getting caught by the
careful.
trap.
Janna getting hit by the trap, but Morgana getting hit low too. Exhaust comes over the top onto the Jinx. They can't go too much further than this. Just some trade of summoner spells. Heal getting blown by Morgana. Exhaust by the Janna. And
Yeah,
Q
we're seeing
going
the
wide.
junglers getting ready to spawn both lane, both jungles, cleaning up their buffs and looking to head here ASAP as the action in bot lane is looking pretty juicy here. Big wave
Yep.
crashing.
And Jinx ult is just going to come over the top and maybe a kill. Does she look to ult? Surely she does. She has it up. Did she not lever her
safe.
ultimate?
Playing safe, holding onto it.
I think Jinx maybe didn't level her ultimate.
She could have been Un. I'm not sure.
Oh, it doesn't show. Oh, okay. There it is now. But maybe
Not
you're
sure.
right. Still, bot lane forced to go back and miss this wave. XP advantage for the Butter Boys bot lane. So a slower paced game, but still going Butter Boys way early. And they like this. They have a scaling comp. They have the Jinx looking to scale into the late game. Has an almost 20 CS lead over in the bot lane. An XP advantage. Good movement from the Fizz, dodging out of the Lux binding. She just looks to try to safely wave clear. Still has no flash. Barrier back up. They
Yeah, dragon
landing
secured.
big play. Butter Boys getting the first dragon. Yep.
Yeah, forcing the bot lane out, getting the plates, getting the dragon. It's looking good for the bot lane there. Jinx is a scaling champion and they're ahead now on CS.
Yep.
Looking very strong in the bot lane.
Absolutely, really huge from the side of Butter Boys as they take a base and head back to the bot lane.
Yeah, that gold difference is starting to climb up to 1.2k. Let's see if Glacial Academy can hold the game and reel it back in.
Yep, Glacial Academy showing a much different playstyle here. You know, really just playing this early game slower, playing lanes well, getting leads on CS. Kha'Zix Igaro looking to go in top, ulting onto the Gnar. Huge ulti to disengage. Looking to turn this around, actually kills the Volibear. And Kha'Zix Igaro has to be really careful. Looking to turn it back with the Q. Auto comes down. Looks to kite for the bush. Oh my goodness. Great play by the Gnar. Flashing into the bush to cancel the vision from the Vi. And Vi being a little bit too overconfident. Ult comes down over the top of the Lux in the mid lane. The E to follow up. And I think he's going to live. Unbelievable. Gets the
man.
level up. Insane play on the side of the Fizz. So many outplays going around in the top lane, in the mid lane. Fantastic play from the side of Butter Boys.
Butter Boys showing the outplays in top lane with the Gnar 1v2ing in the gank, and then mid Fizz surviving with the kill thanks to Hecarim.
Yeah.
That was a tight one. I didn't think Fizz was gonna live there.
I did not think Fizz was going to live there either. Huge play from Butter Boys. Really just showing off what these champions can do. I think Vi just trying to force a little too hard in the top side. Getting a bit impatient perhaps. Landing on the Janna, and I think she's just dead. So much healing actually, never mind. Wow, huge play. Forcing the Jinx to flash out. Auto's coming down. Huge flash from the Ashe, flashing the binding, but the binding hits the Janna. A little bit unfortunate there that the flash actually betrays her support. Dodging the Jinx rocket. Vi coming down, but the spell shield is going to block the Vi Q. And Butter Boys just going to pick up a kill for nothing. So much trading going on. A really close bot lane 2v2, but unfortunately just a bit of an item advantage in top lane. Huge gank from the Vi. Going to punish the Flash's Volibear.
Yeah, amazing bindings in the Morgana, and another skirmish bottom. Another binding hit.
They don't give us any time. No rest here. Just constant fighting as the Lux roams down. And just like in game one, these Lux roams have been really big. Looking to cross map play. Hecarim and Gnar making a play on top side for Butter Boys, and Lux just walks bottom, uses that window she has to pick up 2 kills and punish an overstay by the Butter Boys bot lane.
Yeah, both teams keeping the pace, making plays all around the map. This is action-packed right now.
This is absolutely action-packed indeed. Hecarim taking down the Rift Herald for Butter Boys. Just going to secure another objective, look to put it down, get some gold in the pockets of Butter Boys, help their late game scaling. As Gnar pushes in the top wave, Volibear will just safely pick it up.
Yeah, this game is slowly slipping out of reach for Glacial Academy, and more damage going out in the bot lane. Janna flashing away, Fizz flashing to keep up. The chase is on. Jinx hitting the W on Nash, making some trades.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, good Q on the side of John is actually going to help her out. The arrow coming down just to make sure they could secure the kill. Really good timing on the side of Vi. And I think just a really greedy play by Fizz there. Doesn't need to go bot. Has a huge mid wave crashing. Decides to overstay. Look for more kills when he could have just caught CS. And Ash
That's a
walking
big one for Glacial Academy.
into the binding. And every time we talk about anything, another fight happens. They are just keeping us on our toe. And look at Cosmic Egro in the bot lane, looking to clean up this fight in the bot lane that seems like it's been going on for the last 5 minutes. Morgana coming over the top, looking to pick something up. Binding goes wide. Hecarim's here. What's he gonna do? Onto the top side, looking to come around, clean up these low
Hecarim's
HP.
charging.
Oh my goodness! And Vi queuing out. Can the Hecarim catch up? He's so close. He will in the end. And now this is a very sad day for Glacial Academy bot lane. He's gonna ult onto the Ashe and just walk out. Won't greed for the 3rd kill. He's happy with 2. He has Herald. Does he put it down? Doesn't opt to put it down. And oh my goodness, Morgana died on the end somehow. I think she tanked an extra turret shot. Kill going back over to the side of Glacial Academy. And Lux is walking bot lane now, saying this fight isn't over just yet. I want more. Finally, Jinx recalled, and I think
This
that
is
will
non-stop, a ton of action. I can't even barely even keep up right now, but this game is winnable for both teams. What a close game.
Yeah, absolutely. Some, again, really good fight on the side of Glacial Academy. You know, plays being made by Butter Boys, but Glacial Academy not giving up at all. Keeping up the pressure when they can. Ash is going to walk mid to try to pick up some of these minions. Needs to be a bit careful, has no flash. Fizz sitting on 1 completed item. You know, it does a lot of damage with ultimate. And Ash here picking up the Kraken Slayer as opposed to the as opposed to the Gale Force or the Immortal Shield Bow.
Both teams converging on Dragon. Second Drake is a Mountain Drake. It's been, well, hasn't been started, but we're fighting for division here.
Yeah, absolutely. They want the second dragon. Butter Boys wants to start the dragon stacking early and do what they did in the first game, really putting a lot of pressure onto the side of Glacial Academy, making them worry about that soul point early. And they look like they're going to start it up, have the pit pinked really hard for Glacial Academy to walk in. They have the Fizz ult to get a pick. Lux needs to be careful. Jana keep coming over. And Fizz fishing for that ultimate. Q's going to land. Close, honestly. The Lux ult looking to steal. Isn't able to get it, but good try on the side of Glacial Academy. Do what they can.
Yeah, big kill, big gold differential. Should be an easy drink, and they showed that it was secured.
Top lane, turret going down. Vi's here to look to clean something up. The Volibear also going to miss, but it's just too much damage. And again, every single time, Glacial Academy is able to respond with these cross-map plays so well. Jana getting caught out, though. A little bit disrespectful to stay in the bot lane after that dragon, knowing that there were 4 people there and they were making a top play. Still, 600 gold shutdown going to the Vi there. Huge, huge shutdown for them. Okay, I'm
Much
looking.
needed. Herald going down mid, dropping. Lux is finding on Fizz. Fizz ulti going out with the pressure. Barrier popped in response.
Oh,
Fizz
good
going in with
flash
the E.
on the side of
Bit too deep though, getting
the
peeled.
Lux, and he has no E. He's just dead. Fizz going in and giving a shutdown, and now Morgana is going to flash, and the binding's just going to hit a minion, and she's dead as well. Really, really greedy play on the side of Butter Boys, and they're instantly punished. And this is a couple times this game that they're giving a lot of shutdown gold needlessly. They don't need to be overstaying here. They have a scaling team. They have 2 dragons. You know, the only way you make this game losable is if you start throwing away shutdown gold. So something they need to take into account. And now they're going to give up a mid turret with objective bounty. So good job on the side of Glacial Academy. They're constantly looking for return plays. Every single time Butter Boys makes a play, Glacial Academy right there to match it. They're going to get the objective bounty mid, and they're starting to bring this game back.
Exactly. I'm liking the play of Glacial Academy. They're not trying to force anything anywhere. They're just responding to the pressure and aggression, looking for the team to make some Butter Boys to make some overly aggressive, greedy plays, and just showed how easy they can collapse and punish them.
Absolutely. Waiting for the mistakes on Butter Boys' part to happen, and every time they do, they're in position to punish them.
Yeah, now 7 to 11, 3k gold difference. Nar chunking the top lane. Janna forced back away. What's coming up next here? Just another
Yeah.
Herald?
Herald coming up, and then Dragon in 240. This will be the Dragon putting Butter Boys on soul point if they're able to secure it. So maybe they'll look for a Herald play and use that Herald to get pressure for Dragon. A little bit of fighting going on in the top lane. Gnar versus Volibear. Ulti from Gnar coming out isn't going to amount to too much. Volibear starting to get pretty tanky, able to sustain some of that damage.
Yeah, I would have liked that Gnar ulti to be used. Oh, Ashy Arrow missing mid. With the Herald coming up, I think the Gnar ulti should have been used around that. It would have been a
Yeah.
huge value.
Absolutely.
Butter Boys maybe not making the best decisions right now. Let's see if they can clean up their play.
Yep. Glacial Augment. Ash looking for that mid arrow pick. Going a bit wide though. They have to be careful. So much bot lane vision. This is something we saw in the first game. They need to respect the bot lane pressure. Once the outer turret goes down the bot lane, Butter Boys are just able to get wards down and play in that red side jungle. So again, a good job not getting picked, being a little bit more conservative. The Vi is going to lose his Raptors, but better than dying. He's going to walk over to the top side, keep on farming. Try to get as strong as possible for Dragon spawning in 125. Doesn't look like they really care about the Herald. What is happening in the bot lane? Lux is on a mission to somehow escape. She's going to start a recall, but it might be a little bit too little too late. They're just respecting it, and the Jinx W misses and Lux just makes it out. The Fizz is too scared to face check, doesn't throw down the ult. No one uses a ward or anything, and the Jinx ult just misses. And this is now a Herald for Glacial Academy. And there's objective bounties still on the map. Lemon, what a play. I mean, so smart to just start channeling the recall with that spot in the bush. Huge. And now they have Rift Herald. They're just going to go on to the Gnar, flashing, flash traded. And Volibear says, well, I'm just going to turn your turret off. So I don't really care that you're under your turret. Vile over the top. And oh my goodness, huge 3-man Gnar into the turret. It's going to stall for so long. Gnar still going down. And this Volibear is unbelievably tanky. Now, the Hecarim is looking to stall for as long as he can as the Herald goes down, takes the top lane turret. Actually, they don't even need the Herald. It goes down before it even spawns. Jinx ult's gonna go wide, and Butter Boys are still looking to force something if they can. Hecarim's by himself, but it's gonna get Ash Herald and absolutely blown up. Vi looking for the damage. One last auto to kill him won't be there, and Vi, it looks like, will go down to the Morgana now. Fizz running for his life. The E coming back to re-engage. Oh my goodness, this team fight is absolutely insane, and somehow in the end goes to the way of Butter Boys. Great mechanics on the side of Fizz, stalling for so long, re-engaging with the E, just so back and forth. One auto was all that was needed for the Vi.
Ton of value by the
Fizz.
Fizz there, baiting out the exhaust, landing his ulti, going back in with the re-engage. Clean plays all around.
Absolutely huge play, and oh my goodness, this game on a nice edge. So many champions being within just one auto away. This Baron is very ambitious on the side of Butter Boys. So many low HP targets and short death cooldowns. Need to be a bit careful, but Lux walking a little bit too up by herself.
Yeah, interesting call by the Baron. Let's see if Gnar can back it up and they can secure it.
And
Everyone's
they're
kinda
just
getting really
dying to this Baron. They're all within 1 HP. The Ash Arrow is going to scout them out. Can they get there in time? It looks like no. The TP from Volibear, though. Will this amount to anything? They're just channeling the recalls now, and I think that means they'll all get out in time. But in response, Glacial Academy walks this dragon, looks to try to get it, and Fizz just deletes Lemon from the map. I mean, I saw her there for a second, and then I didn't see her there. Through barrier shield, through Janna shield, that was a lot of damage coming through from the Fizz. Quite scary if you're Glacial Academy seeing that Fizz.
Yeah, getting a pick, but no matter. Dragon still secured for Glacial Academy. Picking up a Dragon, stopping the third Drake for Butter Boys.
Yep, big dragon on the side of Glacial Academy. Definitely able to stall the game a little bit.
Yeah, now let's see what Butter Boys can do with that close Baron call. Everyone was clenching, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But still, Baron goes the way of the Butter Boys. And how much gold can they get from this Baron? Here we go. Fizz dodging the Volibear with the E, but Volibear does not care and is a very tanky bear. Fizz needs to be a bit more careful. The Azure comes in onto the Morgana. Knows that it has no spell shield. Zhonya's coming down to dodge the Fizz, or the Lux ulti, excuse me. Gnar looking to dive on the backline. Big ult, and then Hecarim follow-up is huge. No one can touch the Jinx, and it's just like what Glacial Academy did in the second game, getting a taste of their own medicine there as Jinx gets a free hit with the Morgana spell shield on her. Huge play, great play.
Morgana
by
doing
Fitzpatrick.
amazing value there. Zanya's hourglassing, sidestepping the Ashy Arrow. Not much more value you can ask there for your support. Hitting the binding
Absolutely.
and flashing out.
Huge hero support play. Being able to dodge so much damage and save this battlefield shield for her Jinx so that she could just free hit with no regard for anything. Oh my goodness, what an ultimate by Lemon, flashing out to safety. Lemon is saying, nope, you're not gonna beat us this easily. She's looking to save the game, save the mid turret. Huge play, so much damage going down to the Jinx too. Needs to be really careful. Lemon, huge play right there. So much value from that Lux laser over the top, getting 2 kills. Great binding, punishing again more over aggression on the side of Butter Boys. I think they think they're further ahead than they are, and they overstay a little bit and get punished. Great play by the Lux. Lemon showing what she can do on the Lux, showing why she first picked it over something else. She really likes this champion, and once she gets those items, just doing so much damage in team fights.
Exactly. Butter Boys with a big lead, but still have to respect the team fight capabilities of Glacial Academy, who, you know, constantly surprise us. Like, they're so far behind, but every time they make these amazing plays to keep themselves in it.
Absolutely. This Gnar, though, proving to be a huge issue in team fights. He doesn't have the most kills, but those ultimates have been really huge. Able to get on the back line and just disrupt Glacial Academy so much. Need to see some really good play, I think, from the Janna, looking to stop the Gnar engage, maybe an early ultimate, knocking him back, slowing down the fights, preventing him from getting on the Ashe. And Ashe just completing Wit's End now. She's at 2 items, has the Wit's End, has the Mercury Treads and the Kraken Slayer. A little bit of a defensive build. Won't be pumping out the same damage that she did on Jinx, but just looking to kind of sustain through these fights and hope that her front line can tank up enough for them to be able to win a sustained fight.
Yeah, both Fizz and Jinx with big bounties. Let's see if Glacial Academy can capitalize and pocket those.
Yeah, absolutely. Dragon coming up in 140. Will be sole point if Butter Boys can secure this. And Glacial looking to get their second dragon. It is another Ocean Soul. So will Ocean Soul be the good luck charm for Glacial Academy? Fizz looking to go in onto the Volibear, just kind of passing through, saying hello, looking to pick up this big wave here. Never mind, I say that, and he just goes in all into the Volibear. Volibear going under the turret, and I think it's a little bit greedy by the Volibear, but so much damage coming out onto the Fizz. But Hecarim's here, the ultimate fear, super huge.
Everyone trading
Same as
cooldowns
Fizz.
there. Huge fight
Yeah.
by Volibear underneath the tower. Not sure if that was the best decision, but
Volibear getting a little bit excited, and Morgana kill traded back onto the top side. Punch for punch, constantly being traded this game. There is no downtime, no rest. They just want to keep skirmishing, really battle it out for game 3. 4K gold lead for Butter Boys, but still, Glacial Academy showing that they are still in this 100%. Good arrow coming down to disengage the Jinx. Autos onto the Gnar, but so much damage coming onto the Ashe, and he just has Mercury Treads, no armor, but Vi cleaning up the Jinx on the backside. Good sidestep by the Gnar to dodge out of the Vi Q. All coming over the top to sun her into the wall, and there is Fizz on the way to clean it up. Great play, this Gnar pick from Hero 39. It's just been so incredibly valuable.
well played by both sides there. A bit of a skirmish in the mid lane. Amazing sidestep on the Gnar. That was great to watch.
Absolutely huge play by Gnar. Prolonging the fight so much. Still looking to get damage down, but oh no, gets caught by a binding from the Lux, and the Lux waiting a little bit too long on the ultimate. So the Sun times out. Flashing forward is the Volibear, and so close to cleaning up the Gnar, but not enough in the end. Going to make it out alive. And this game has just been a game of inches. There must be 5 or 6 times now where people are living on what is, 100, 200 HP. So close. So close.
Yeah, and despite the kill tally being almost double, we're only still within 3.5k gold of each other.
Yeah.
So it's a tight game. We got 3 and 4 towers on each side. A
Yeah.
lot to lose for both teams.
Absolutely, and there's still objective bounties on the side for Glacial Academy, so this gold swing can change very quickly if they get they get a fight win, if they get some turrets, collect those bounties, it's absolutely huge, and a big shutdown onto the side of Fizz too. So a lot of outstanding gold on the map. Gnar coming into a minion, a little bit unfortunate, doesn't get the extended range, and Vi will make it out. They look to pressure this Baron. Not a lot of topside vision for the side of Glacial Academy means that it is a very, very scary walk to face check all of these bushes, as they need to be careful of the Baron threat for Butter Boys. They
Butter
set up
Boys
a trap.
posturing for vision, securing the Baron scuttle. You know, looking to just catch someone of Glacial Academy out.
Yep, absolutely. Here we go. Looking to jockey for position in the river. Binding's gonna land onto the Gnar. He's pretty tanky, but he's still in mini Gnar, and that ultimate is huge. He's gonna make it out. 1 HP. Can they kill him? Flashing forward is the Vi, but he gets mega and disengages with an ult. Hecarim onto the backside with Fizz. They're just looking to keep the Ashe alive, but so much damage coming into her, and the Fizz is gonna kill Janna. Ashe looking to just kite with whatever she can. There's gonna be 1 kill traded back onto the Hecarim, but it's a 1v4, and there's only so much that Lil Falfey can do. She's gonna have to flash out and just look to base, cut the losses in another fight where Gnar lives with under 100 HP, I would assume. That is just insane. I think they got a little bit greedy trying to save ultimates onto the Gnar instead of just killing him, and he makes it out alive.
I agree. What a moment. That Gnar surviving, baiting it out just to get his ulti, hits the ulti, survives even longer, clutches it for his team.
And this game
man.
is just so incredibly close. If Gnar dies there, that is just a fight win on the side of the Glacial Academy into a Baron. So everything, a game of inches at this point. The goal lead is stretching, but still huge shutdown onto the side of Fizz. If they can collect that for Glacial Academy, it would be huge. 2 minutes though onto this Dragon Soul.
Yeah, Butter Boys resetting quickly, picking up a bunch of items, and they're looking to close out the game with Baron here. Looking to, you know, they're looking to be a good spot right now.
Yep, absolutely. Looking to try to finish things off, keep this pressure, keep extending the gold lead, not letting Glacial Academy breathe at all. Again, they've had a tendency though to get picked when they're in advantageous positions, so I want to see them play a little bit more calculated, not go overly aggressive, not needlessly walk up too deep, and just play a little bit more calculated. And
Exactly. There's no reason to get excited in tower dive here. You got 3 lanes pushing. Should be easy cleanup.
absolutely. And they have the Jinx, such a strong late game champion. Don't have to be too worried about anything. Dragon Soul spawning in 1 minute and 30. Mid lane looking to be pushed in by the side. Butter Boys, Glacial Academy are just trying to safely clear waves as best they can.
Yeah,
Ash
the calm
looking to
before the
farm up.
storm right here. Both teams kind of looking for points of weakness, seeing what's going to happen going into the end game. How do you think Butter Boys is going to try to end this one?
It looks like they're just going to slow out to the Dragon Soul. I like that play a lot. Just control the bot side river. Look for picks when you can, but don't have to force anything too crazy. Once you get that Ocean Soul, it becomes really hard for Glacial Academy to do anything. You can just siege turrets and sustain. Safely end the game. Don't have to do anything to coin flip at all. So
Yeah, very true. That Ocean Soul is a great win con.
yep, absolutely. A much more calculated close to this game. They're just controlling bot side river, looking for Glacial Academy to misstep and make a mistake. Morg is just walking behind the entire team though. She is not a tanky champion, cannot be doing this, flashing out. She does not live in the end. I was gonna say another perhaps very close escape, but she dies. A little bit over aggressive there. No need to do that. Could just take the turret and leave, but they're gonna get flashed out. There's no spell shield because Morgana's dead, and Flip Trick is just dead. Huge play on the side of Volibear, knowing that there's no Morgana there to protect the AD, knowing the AD has no flash, and like we just said earlier, just getting a little bit too over aggressive. No need to walk behind the turret. You're gonna get it, but Volibear TP's top, and Gnar now is TP in, so it's going to be a 4v3. Hecarim ulti is huge, but the Lux ult is huge over the top as well, and it actually secures the dragon. Ash is able to free hit in the back, but has no flash to get over. Trades 1 for 1. Lux binding lands onto the Gnar. Gnar looking to chase down the Lux now as they clean up the Vi. The Lux is going to go down just a zone, and she'll make it out there, but Lux ultimate actually stealing the dragon, prevents the soul, and stalls the game out a little bit longer. And just when I say Butter Boys just needs to play safe and don't do anything too crazy, well, the Morgana walks under the tier 2.
Yeah, they went a bit crazy. Morgana going in 1v5, hitting that quad ulti, and paying with an easy death.
Yep, absolutely.
And then now Glacial Academy with the window back into the game, securing the dragon, stalling it out a bit longer. Maybe
Absolutely.
A bit of hope redeemed.
TP's down now for both top laners. Not sure the Volibear had to TP top as early as he did. Maybe would have been a bit better to just stay in the fight and force something. But either way, it still is big for the side. And we're also getting to see how good the league menu looks now. Really solid stuff they're doing. Hotkeys, video, sound. Just a nice clean menu.
UI.
Just a nice clean menu. Not much more you could ask for from the side of Riot Games right there. All right, and we're back into the action. Butter Boys doesn't want to give Glacial Academy a break at all as they just start walking down mid lane, keeping the wave pressure up. But still, not another objective for quite a bit of time, right? So what do they do in the meantime? Do they just look to keep sieging? It looks like they're just playing the ARAM. Big Ash Arrow onto the Morgana. Hits her from Fog of War before she can spell shield it. The Lux all going into the Morgana Zonias, so not a ton of value there. Huge flank on the side of Vi, though. They don't know Vi's here, and there's no Morgana spell shield. What will she do? She's just going to Q out, though. A little bit scared to go in, I think. Hectorim going in, chasing. A lot of posturing here. Both teams a little bit uneasy to engage. There's so much on the line here in this end game fight. Vi doesn't want to engage too deep by herself. Oh, and a binding's going to land, and that's just a dead Morgana. Wasn't able to spell shield fast enough. This Lux pick has been huge. So many pivotal picks, so many pivotal bindings. They're just going to run it down mid. They have to be careful of bot lane, though. There's a huge wave stacking up on the bot lane inhibitor turret. So will they opt to counter mid, or are they just going to push bot lane? It looks like they're going to recall. Glacial Academy is a bit scared too.
Potentially.
Glacial Academy a bit scared too to push down for the mid turret. I think they could have gotten objective bounty on that turret, but not super confident. Looks like they're just going to posture for topside Baron vision with 30 seconds on the Baron. So a big Lux binding is going to give them some top lane priority, gives them some room to push out mid and stop the bleeding.
Yeah,
35 minutes.
Going down the last 2 times, giving Glacial Academy a bit of space and time to work with, breathing some fresh air into their lungs. It's a glimmer of hope here.
Absolutely. A 35-minute game, so close. 30 kills on the side of Butter Boys, but yet the game goes on as they look to start up the Baron. And again, a lot of topside vision now for Butter Boys. This is a really scary spot. You can't be face checking if you're Ash. Binding lands onto Lux. Hectorim all over the top. Vi is going to flash in to try to prevent her team, but Fizz looking to finish off the Lux is going to get it. The Fizz ulti goes wide on Ash, but she's still zoned out by it. W coming over the top. Jinx is excited, looking for the AD carry. 1v1, and oh my goodness, they just trade 1 for 1. Huge now. Volibear is very tanky and looking to just do as much as he can, stalling the game out as much as he can to prevent Butter Boys from ending. They don't have great waves. They're just going to go on to the Baron, and this game might stall out. We'll see. Maybe actually go for the end here. I do think they have enough time, but whether they force it is yet to be decided. It looks like they're just going to look for the end. Might be a little bit close. 20 seconds onto the Lux. They don't have any consistent AD damage with Jinx going down, so I think they might actually get more value going from Baron here, but they're opting for mid lane. They're going to try to flip it, though at least get an inhibitor and reset and maybe look for a Baron off of that.
Yeah, really big damage by that Fizz and Gnar that last fight. They're putting up huge numbers, just destroying every champion that they walk into.
Absolutely. So they're now going to reset. Mid inhibitor taken down. They're going to have super minions pouring into mid. They have to be a bit careful, but they also have to be a bit careful letting this game stall out. There's going to be mid super minions, which means a lot of gold can just be passively picked up on the side of Glacial Academy. Soul is up in 15 seconds. Morgana needs to take a recall, though, and everyone from Glacial Academy is on the map. That's half HP on Morgana. Fizz is low on mana. This is not the ideal fight you would want if you are Butter Boys. A little bit overstaying and going into a fight in a bad way. This Fizz ulti is going to get burned super early, and actually it's just almost completely eaten by their shielding. Really good play by the side of Glacial Academy to sustain through that. Dragon going super low. Over the top is Luxol. It's not going to be enough. Smited away by the Hecarim, and Vi is just in by himself. No one there from his team can help him out. He goes in for the steal, but you know, he goes in just by himself and is not able to have any follow-up at all. Volbear didn't want to go over, and now Butterboy is just walking straight to Baron after securing that soul in such a strong position now to close out this game. They have the soul. They're going to have the Baron. They have supers pushing into mid. Now
Really
they
tough
just
spot.
really tough
for
spot.
Glacial Academy. There's almost no bad play now for Butter Boys. You know, they could give up that dragon, just go for kills and get a free Baron and go for the end.
Yep.
It's a tough spot to be in.
Absolutely. This is really where we get to see the resilience of Glacial Academy. How do they opt to play this? You need to do something. You can't really just let the game stall out. You're playing into an Ocean Soul, so much sustain, and then the Baron empowered super minions. So much pressure on the map right now. Let's see what they'll do as they look for a player. Just wait for a fight to happen in their own base. Trying to push out mid wave, trying to get as many minions cleared as they can to prolong the Baron push as best as possible. Butter Boys just hanging out, farming up all their camps, getting as many levels as they can as they prepare to walk down into the base of Glacial Academy and look to finish off this series. It has been an absolute crazy game though, an absolute banger. We can't ask for much more than this. Game 3 going on to 40 minutes. I mean, these two teams are just battling it out. No one wants to go down. No one wants to give up that week 1 loss.
Yeah, big defense right here for Glacial Academy. Let's see if they can hold the onslaught as Butter Boys is walking it down in the bot lane with Baron, with Soul. Ashy Arrow going out, whiffing.
Going
That's a
wide.
good sign.
Yep, that is a big ultimate on cooldown now for the side of Glacial Academy. Will that be a signal to pull the trigger under this turret? Gnar is looking to just fight in the top lane. 2 people are coming. They need to be careful bot lane. There's a 3v4 here. And the Fizz ult is going to come over onto Ashe. Flashes early. Hecarim ult is just going to blow her up. That is Ashe going down. Volbear looking to see what he can do on the back line, but it's not enough. Huge 3-man Lux ult comes over the top, but it looks like it may be too little too late as Hecarim is just running as he wishes into the backline of Glacial Academy as Butter Boys hits a turret. There's one going down. They're onto the Nexus, and they're just now farming kills, it looks like, onto the Nexus step. Gnar going in for the ult, knocking them out. And that will be the game. Butter Boys picking up their first win of the Swag Life series. 3-game series, crazy close games, but Butter Boys in the end coming out on top. Insane series. What do you think about that, Derek?
It was an awesome series. It was back and forth just like we wanted. Unfortunately, Glacial Academy couldn't have the upset sweep, but honestly, it was a pleasure to watch. Well played by both teams.
Yeah.
Amazing, entertaining games. And we saw League of Legends at its greatest tonight.
Absolutely. Butter Boys playing really well in the end. A good draft adaptation going into game 3, showing that they can play multiple styles, right? Game 1, they play a super early game oriented co-op. Look to skirmish, look to win lanes. Game 2, they get beaten team fights. So game 3, they say, you know what, we're just going to play team fights and we're going to win that way. Really solid play, but Glacial Academy too, keeping in it right up to the end. Really good job in their team fighting and their own respect, looking to always trade objectives back, trade something back, never going down without a fight. So for a team that's only been around for like 2 days or whatever, I'd say they are have nothing to be worried about in this week 1 loss. Really strong stuff from both teams. And
exactly, I'm excited
happy
to
to
see
see.
both these teams going into the forward weeks. You know they're both going to be making big changes and improving as a cohesive group. So
absolutely,
it's going to be an exciting league.
Absolutely insane series. And now we have an interview with the mid laner for Butter Boys, Troll Wrecker. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Troll Ripper? Are you there? Is that his name?
Troll Wrecker 24
Troll Wrecker.
is the name I have. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as we wait for Troll Wrecker, we'll reminisce. We saw him on Yasuo. We saw him on Fizz.
Yep.
What else did we see mid? Zed.
Zed. Yeah.
Yeah. He was
He
showing
does,
a good champion pool. He was flexing mastery in all of them.
That
Making
is true.
plays as a great mid laner.
Absolutely.
Securing victory for his team.
Yeah, absolutely showing. I mean, definitely showing that he likes a specific style of champion, but that he does have versatility within that style of champion. Picking 3 different champions, all of them kind of assassin, all in
Can you hear
champions.
me
but-
now?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
can
you're
hear you.
good.
Okay, let's go.
Awesome. So, Troll Wrecker,
Yeah.
big start to your Swag Life Series career. A week 1 win. How do you feel?
Oh, it feels pretty good, honestly. First game was great. Second game was a little bit rougher with the Zed pick. I just tried
Yeah.
to do that for a style. And then third game Fizz always feels nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, going into this series, you kind of see that the other mid laner plays, well, a limited champion pool, but B, also champions that are very susceptible to assassin type picks. Are you always an assassin player kind of regardless, or was it something that you pulled out based on the other mid laners champion pool?
Generally, I do like to play assassins. They're a lot more fun in my opinion. But I am pretty versatile when it comes to my champ pool. So I can play mages. They're not as fun in my opinion. But yeah, assassins. So when I saw that they played Lux and Anivia, it was very nice to see.
Yeah, for sure. And so you opted to ban Anivia all 3 games. Was that because Anivia is a champion you don't like to deal with, or is that more just a comfort pick on the side of their mid?
Oh, it's a mix of the comfort pick, but also her egg. I hate her egg so much. It's so annoying.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, the typical anti-aggression. We saw you guys adapt well through the picks and bans of 3 games. Talk us through like your mentality, how you adapt to sometimes getting your champions banned out or your strategies kind of countered.
So our bans, usually we wanted to keep them pretty similar, but then after the second game we got a little bit scared of some champs and stuff like that, so we wanted to change it up a bit. Our mentality doesn't really change. We're wanting to keep fighting, keep going, we're here to win. All right, we're here to win.
Yeah, we saw your relentless tempo, controlling that bot side jungle, invading at every chance. You guys put on a clinic and it was super entertaining games.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good luck in your endeavors in the future in the Swag Life series. But thank you for the interview. Good to have you, and have a good rest of your night.
Awesome. Thank you. You too.
Thank you. All right, and what a series, huh?
Yeah, Joel, that was amazing casting with you, my friend. I look forward to when you're up there on the Rift and I could do some analysis on your games. It's gonna be
For
fun
sure.
times. What a series
Hopefully,
we got here.
hopefully I don't disappoint. Yeah, for sure. Such a great series. I was super happy it went to 3 games. Both teams showing that they're no team to be trifled with, not pushovers at all. Really fighting out to the end. But with that, we do conclude our series for the night. Next week we'll be back on Thursday with Macro Academy facing off against the Cabbage Collective. 2 really strong, solid teams. Gonna be an exciting series. I know that for sure. Definitely something to check out on Thursday night, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Friday, we'll be back with the Mithril Black against the Dark Side Knights for Division 2 Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern as well. Again, from all of us at Swag Life Series, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you all have a great rest of your night.
GG's.